Fighting games are.
Yeah, hang on.
Fighting games are making Ermac into a mummy. I hate it.
He's not even a mummy in this game. He's just a wizard.
Yeah, fighting games are making Ermac into a guy. Just a dude. Random ass old man. Like it's not even a Jared outfit.
It's like it's. I don't really care that much because I've never been a big Ermac guy, but like, yeah, it's just kind of like a generic medieval dude outfit.
Yeah. I mean,
and like the funny thing is, like that trailer. Okay, so we've got playable Tanya. That's fine, and Baraka's here. That's cool. Lee May?
Yeah, Ed Boon, if you remember, Ed Boon posted that there's gonna be returning characters from the 3D era that will surprise you. Lee May.
Well,
be fucking glad it's not Ashra.
No, I would be much happier with Ashra. Are you joking?
I don't remember either of their characters, so they're kind of the same to me.
Ashra at least had the gimmick that she was a demon who was trying to not be a demon anymore. You remember her whole gimmick was she picked up that sword, and for every other demon she killed, she came closer to being turned into a human. Remember?
No. All I remember of Ashra is that her outfit sucked.
Like, but Ashra actually had a character, unlike the majority of 3D fucking era characters.
Yeah.
And Lee May, who was like kind of in Deadly Alliance, kind of the idea was maybe Lee May will be the protagonist of the 3D trilogy instead of Liu, but then they just kind of forgot about it. Moved on to Shujinko and Taven.
And Dagon. Like, you can't forget Dagon.
Dagon was the villain of Armageddon.
I know.
But anyways, Lee May, let's be real here. Like, I'll grant Lee May had at least some cool moves in the 3D trilogy. But let's be real here. She didn't have a character other than like, oh, Outworld Village Girl, because I guess humans just live in Outworld now. Well, like, how many people were picking Lee May because her default costume was a bikini?
I couldn't tell you.
Like, it's such a bizarre pick. And then Darius is a cameo, which, you know, goofy 3D characters as cameos. That makes sense, sure. Yeah. But then did you see the leak afterwards?
Yes. Yes, you're talking about the cutscene, right?
I did not see it with full audio. I only saw bits and pieces, and I heard what people said. I heard what people said for one thing. Shao Kahn is now General Shao.
Yes, General Shao, and also Reiko is back and is defending the lover of his life, General Shao.
Yeah. I for a second I thought you were about to say Melina. I was going to say again, but no. So the way that clip ends, did you notice? Seems to imply they're about to cut to a fight with Reiko.
Yes. Now here's the thing, though. Before we come to conclusions, think of Sector in X.
That is very true. Though Sector had a 2D playstyle they could call upon quite easily. Because Sector in MKX is just an MK9 character. Correct me if I'm... No, actually, I'm at least a little bit wrong, because Sector was later added to MKX's roster as Triborg.
Not MK... Oh, no. MK11.
Cyrax in 11.
Yeah, Cyrax in 11.
Cyrax in 11 was a straight port of Triborg from Mortal Kombat X.
I don't think it was. There was a lot of porting of Triborg, but some of Cyrax's moves were reworked.
Yes, slightly, though at the end of the day, he's still, like, if you crack the game open and force the game to make Cyrax playable, Cyrax plays like Triborg from MKX, which means that Cyrax is easily the top tier character in the game if he's playable, because MKX a hell of a lot faster, had bigger combos and crazier mix-ups.
Yeah.
Reiko, they don't have a past 2D Reiko designed to call upon. If they would be making Reiko for a single fight in MK12, they would be designing an entire character and animating an entire character for one NPC fight. Which, remember, MKX also had a couple NPC fights, one against Baraka and one against Sindel, both of whom just straight up used their MK9 movesets. And correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Sindel use her MK9 model?
I'm not sure.
Baraka, I know, got a new model for X, but still had his 9 animations.
Reiko will use his 4 animations, not even the ones from Armageddon. No, 4.
Yeah, including the throw and
Yes.
run.
Especially,
Fucking run up, throw loop Reiko, nerd.
yeah. That's what you get for messing with his Chow.
Yeah. So I will say, if there's any 3D era, like out of the 3D era characters that everybody calls for, I've always personally been big in favor of bringing in Reiko. Though I've always been big in favor of bringing in Reiko as something of a joke character, where part of the gag is that he's pathetic.
Yeah.
Like I did dig the idea the MKX comics had of Reiko as like the petty little politicker that sleeps with Melina for political value, but like, really, at the end of the day, the entertainment value of Reiko is that he's a dork who goes and sits on Shao Kahn's seat when Shao Kahn's not looking.
Yeah. I mean, considering that Kongjin doesn't exist anymore, they're gonna have to turn Reiko gay. And have his character be that he wants to be in a relationship with General Shao.
So that it makes the relationship with Melina and MKX even more awkward.
Yes. That's the thing, like the classic continuity Reiko was straight, but Lu made him gay, I guess.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so you know that thing in the X-Men comics where they brought...
Oh no, Jean Grey turned into guy gay?
Yeah, that fan theory that Jean Grey turned both the Icemen gay because she wanted to have a gay friend. Lou is just doing that to Reiko.
Yeah. But Reiko's not even his friend.
Yeah.
Lou wanted to have a gay enemy.
But now he's made Tanya straight for some reason?
I guess. The rules of equivalent exchange.
Yeah. There's only so much gay energy in the world. Lou had to perform the transfer.
Yeah.
I will say, I was kind of worried, like, on some level, okay, Lee May is a doofy choice that I'm not super happy with. I'm sure they'll try and make her somewhat of a character. But, like, I was almost kind of like, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of excited at the prospect of bring back one of the shitters from the 3D era and try to turn them into something, right?
Suhao.
Well, we all want Suhao. Like, Suhao would be the ultimate joke character.
Yeah, the only person who doesn't want Suhao back is Ed.
Yes. I mean, like, let's be real here. We've talked before about crossover fighters and what would be the coolest crossover fighters. We need like a Mugen style. We need a crossover fighter of all the joke shitters from every fighting game.
Yeah. The Ed gets a Metro Melee. Then Hibiki.
Dan Hibiki, Sean what's his name?
Matsuda, I guess.
Yeah, Sean Matsuda, Yoshimitsu, Suhao, Johnny Cage, and Mocap. Even Johnny Cage, you might argue, isn't enough of a joke character for that. It'd have to be just Suhao and Mocap.
And the guy who totally isn't meat.
Yeah.
Yuri Sakazaki. But specifically with 1-to-1 Akuma's moveset in Street Fighter 6.
Yeah. Who's the joke character from Guilty Gear? Faust.
Faust or Zappa?
Yeah, both of them work. From Blaze Blue, I don't know. Takaka's not really a joke character.
I mean, I could see Kokonoe being classified as a joke character because her whole shtick is that she doesn't really care about the fight, but then also she just calls in a big fucking robot
Yeah,
for a punch.
Kokonoe just legitimately kicks ass, so that's kind of
Yeah.
It'd be a little bit odd. Like every Blaze Blue character is a joke. In the story mode, they have the stupid anime humor.
I was about to say, okay, Blaze Blue's joke character representative is just the story mode for Blaze Blue.
I mean, like, like what's her name? Dr. Boobs. What's her name?
I know who you're talking about, but I forget her name too.
Like in
Yeah,
the story, she's perfectly serious with running with the whole gimmick that she's trying to, turn Goo
turn the
Boy
raccoon
into
attack.
a regular boy. But at the same time, the entire joke is, look, big boobs.
Yeah.
And Bullet's the same in reverse.
Nah.
Literally.
I'm trying to think who would be. I guess Jinky Saragi would be the closest to a joke character in Blaze Blue.
Even Jin, Jin, the whole fetish for Ragna is played up as a joke in the tutorial bullshit that we mess with, but in the actual story, no, it's a serious thing that he's got fed.
Oh no, I'm aware. No, how they have it. I've played through not Chrono Phantasmas. The one that's after that.
Central Fiction, the last one.
Yeah, Central Fiction. I played through Central Fiction's story, and in that how they had it set up is that you have the normal chapters for the story where they tell a serious story with the serious characters, and then there's side stories is how they call them, which are comedy skits. And in the comedy skits include things like all of Ragnar's relatives wanting to sleep with him on a beach.
I see. Okay.
I saw that one. I saw that one, and then I didn't check out any of the other comedy skits because I went, okay, let's not do that.
I just realized who is actually the joke character of the Blaze Blue cast.
Who?
Bang.
Oh yeah, Bang.
Not sure how it didn't occur to me earlier. Nonetheless.
Who else could
man, by the way,
in here?
speaking of Match Melee, I just the other day was looking into Match Melee. And for one thing, that is one fighting game where you play the game and try to ignore the story as hard as possible. Because do you know what the story of that game is?
No.
Everyone fighting to marry a 12-year-old girl.
Ah.
And also, I found out there was a home version, a home port, which sadly is not on Fightcade because it was a home port for PS2, that adds in Big Woman, which depressed me because apparently they have Big Command Grab Woman, and it's like, fucking seriously, I can't get that. And also, real life MMA fighter turned comedian Bobby. What was his last name? Hang on, I'm gonna pull it up because it's like they just added a real life MMA fighter turned comedian to the game, and they put his face on the cover.
Ah.
Hang on,
it's like the
Bobby Olagoon.
Ah. You know, it's like that time that Sega put that the actual Formula Racer in Sega All Stars Racing.
Yeah. Well, specifically, the comparison I saw was Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh, Danica Patrick, that's her name.
Oh, Dan Patrick. Yeah. Well, yeah, Dan Patrick's quite famous, at least in the States. Around that time, everybody wanted to fuck her. I don't know what the deal was there.
Yeah, the Danica Patrick is my favorite Sega character.
Yeah.
She's only slightly above the entire cast of the Yox cast.
Yeah, Simon from the Yox cast, Heavy from Team Fortress 2, fucking
Banjo.
Fucking Oda Nobunaga from Total War.
Oh yeah.
I think it was a tremendous missed opportunity of that game that when you turn into like flight mode, he doesn't become Napoleon, and when he turns into sailing, he doesn't become like Richard III or Caesar.
Yeah, the sailing mode is Caesar like arguing with his pirates that his resume isn't high enough.
Yeah, he's not driving it; he's tied to a pole on the front.
Yeah.
He's saying he's going to come back and cut all their dicks off, and after you win, well, regardless of the result of the race, he still comes back and cuts the pirates' dicks off. The result in the race just simply changes how happy Caesar is about it.
But is it before or after he recites his poetry?
Yeah. Oh boy.
So yeah. Anyway, yeah, Metro Melee. I played the entire series. Well, not the entire series, but whatever I could find on Fightcade of that series. And the Atlas made games are bad for one character. Like it's they're bad anyway. They don't control good, but they go from just bad to holy shit, this game sucks because of one character.
Who is that?
Oh, there's this little boy, and
Oh
he
no,
doesn't
I
wear
know who you're
pants.
talking about. Give me a second. Someone's yelling for me.
All right. But yeah, so like you thought Sweeps with Oro were bad.
Oh no, I'm aware of
What
what the issue is. When I was reading
what
about
the
the
fuck were
series,
Atlas? What the fuck were Atlas thinking? Seriously,
it's Japan. They think it's funny.
I know. But yeah,
What else were you thinking having the
yeah.
old Matcha Melee being marrying a 12-year-old girl?
Yeah. So yeah, Metro Melee is funny when you ignore the actual like lore parts and that one character that got deleted rightfully.
I don't think that they intentional. I don't think like they deleted him for the reasons you're thinking. I think they just deleted him because they're like, well, we'll leave him out and come back to him next game.
Probably, but still he's gone, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
But yeah. Metro Melee, the one that we played, also has some characters over the other ones, and also just better controls because it either was made by SNK or was inspired by SNK. I forget.
It was made by
Either which way. Yeah, and you can tell that it was made by SNK
Yeah.
while playing it.
Well, like specifically the way the sprites looks so much like the Garo sprites.
Yeah. I mean, Pucci was supposed to be the DLC character for Garo. Sadly, the DLC wasn't even invented yet, so they couldn't start up the season pass.
Yeah.
He's the official Garo.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah, Mortal Kombat. Just so I can finish up on that news that we started talking
We
about.
didn't even hit the DLC season pass other than saying Ermac.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to go back to Ermac because the thing is, whenever there's design change like this, usually you see people liking it and you see people disliking it. I have seen maybe a guy maybe a guy liking it, and everything else that I've seen was just this Ermac design sucks. What the fuck?
Yeah, it doesn't look like Ermac. That's what we were saying the other night.
Yeah.
Quan Chi, I think the trouble is you and I have already talked about the DLC season pass a lot off recording, so a lot of it's going to be us repeating to each other here. But like, okay, Ermac does not look like Ermac. Takeda looks like Takeda, though he looks a little bit odd. I mean, he looks a little bit more over designed in the body, in the actual outfit compartment, and he looks like he looks a bit old. I don't know. It's difficult to say because the lighting. Quan Chi looks like Quan Chi. I just wish that they brought back the shirtless design. I'm not a big fan of the MKX design of the sleeveless vest with big shoulder blades. Not a big fan of that. Homelander, Omni-Man, and Peacemaker all look like Homelander, Omni-Man, and Peacemaker.
Yep. John Cena sure is John Cena in this John Cena.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's got the toilet bowl helmet. So I think we all know ahead of time Peacemaker's going to be a problem. Gun character.
I have no clue.
What? Homelander's also going to be a problem because Homelander, to my understanding, his entire thing in the show is they just uses heat vision on anything that mildly annoys him. And
Ah.
it's like a running thing that anytime someone mildly pisses off Homelander, he blows their head off with the heat vision. So he's probably going to also be a zoner.
Yeah, so what you're saying is Homelander's moveset will just be ported like a ported version of Superman from Injustice 1.
Yeah, pretty well. Back jump, heat vision. Back jump, heat vision. Gotta throw in the meter burn every now and then to reset him back to full screen. Back jump, heat vision.
Yeah. Although one thing that I have noticed listening to Ketchup and Mustard talk about Mortal Kombat 12 is that they pointed out that Liu Kang has to meter burn his dragon projectile for it to not collide with other projectiles, which implies that projectiles collide now.
Oh my god, that is such a problem fix. Thank God. I was worried NetherRealm was going to die on that fucking hill.
Yeah, like, you know, I've seen a lot of people shitting on what we've seen on Mortal Kombat 12. I am not the biggest fan of Mortal Kombat, just overall. But like the shit that I've seen from Mortal Kombat 12 looked fine. The combos looked interesting enough. The characters the movement from the characters I've seen seems interesting enough. The assist system isn't to my taste, but whatever.
It depends on some of the weird cameo combos you see. Because inevitably, some of the
Yeah,
cameos are going to be the crazy combo cameos. Though, my
yeah, and
God,
like, you
did
know,
you see
Baraka.
somebody showed that clip from the trailer? Lee May throws a projectile. The opponent blocks it, and with perfect timing as the opponent is blocking the fireball, Goro jumps in. It's unblockable. Fuck you.
No, I didn't see it, but that's
The
funny.
Goro cameo still has the stomp, and it's still unblockable.
I hope he doesn't even jump in. He just falls out of the sky and
He
then
does.
leaves. Cool. That's good. I like that.
Yeah. Straight up. Like, congrats. If you pick any zoner character in the game, Goro cameo. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I hope that
The
it's
one
the
that I
cameo move that spins all 3 bars of Goro's cameo meter, and you have to wait for it to recharge. Because otherwise, fuck.
yeah. The combo cameo that I've seen so far, the big combo cameo was Kano,
Yeah.
because Sonya
Knives.
Sonya had yeah, so Sonya had some stuff that people said was really good for combos, but whenever I saw like combo videos or shit like that, it was Kano either doing Kano ball setups or knives.
Along similar lines, the really oppressive fuck you mix up close cameo was Jax, because it's just every character it's a command grab now. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And Darius is probably going to be in a similar category. Why are both of the black dudes in Mortal Kombat grapplers?
Why do they both wear yellow?
Yeah. And now Tanya's black and she wears yellow. I don't remember Jackie being yellow, but now I'm scared I'm going to look backwards and see her yellow now.
I think she did have one of her like dress outfits. One of the first versions of it that you unlock is yellow, or as close as you can get with the muted colors that they used for those.
Yeah. I definitely remember she had yellow dresses in 11, yeah. Oh, fuck.
Cyrex.
Oh, well, yeah, Cyrax, of course, the yellow ninja. Oh, boy.
But yeah. Uh so is John Cena gonna get Reptiles this invisibility power?
Sadly, as funny as that would be, I think they're bound to have to try and be at least somewhat close to how Peacemaker's actually supposed to be. And Peacemaker is really just a dude with a gun.
Ah,
Uh-huh.
So his neutral special will just be shooting you. That shot style.
Yes. I forget. He uses a knife. He does use a knife at parts in the movie. And he does stab someone through the heart with a broken kitchen flooring tile at one point. I don't know if they'll make that a move.
Probably. I mean, like, maybe Peacemaker will just be the random bullshit go character. Like he'll just pull out the grandma from X and throw it at you.
That would actually kind of work for the way John Cena plays that character. Yes. Like that
He throws out an ice cream cone, throws it at you, yelling "Pinchilin."
His alternate costume would have to be him buck ass naked. Because I'm pretty sure he spends a considerable stretch of that show buck ass naked. Oh boy. His fate his no his harakiri is that he notices his bald spot and shoots himself.
Yeah. His fatality is just the AA.
So
Like just blatantly
there's
the
a
AA.
hidden fatality type in the game they're not showing. Because we know fatalities are obviously there, and I think they already found in the beta that brutalities are still there. But
it's time for animalities.
You're not wrong. I mean, we had babalities and then friendships.
Friendships.
MKX's special thing was introducing brutalities, I suppose. So really, it's either animalities or harakiris, and I feel like harakiris would perhaps be seen as too politically incorrect.
Yeah. Harakiris are now renamed low-tier gods.
Yeah. Okay, the trouble with animalities, though, is like there's some characters where it's obvious. Scorpion turns into a scorpion, and not a penguin that lays bombs. Scorpion turns into a scorpion.
What if he gets both?
Shut up. But like, what the hell animal does Homelander turn into? Okay, he turns into a bald eagle. That one answers itself. But what the hell animal does Peacemaker or Omni-Man turn into? What the fuck does Ermac turn into? Wait, what did Ermac turn into in Mortal Kombat 3?
I don't remember. I think Ermac turned into like an elephant.
Yeah, he either turned into an elephant or a monkey, I think.
Yeah, he might have been a monkey.
Hang on, I'm pulling it up.
All right.
Oh no, it only gives the inputs for the animalities. Hang on.
Or you're looking at the warehouse.
No, I was looking at the wiki, the fandom wiki, which is of course garbage, as almost all fandom wikis are.
Yeah, like generally you go to the warehouse for that shit, but the warehouse also only gives you inputs. So
what the fuck?
What?
Ermac's animality is he turns into a tiny little baby frog and then suddenly jumps up and eats you, then it just goes back to being a tiny baby frog.
Ah. Sure.
Why?
But no. You see, because you have to kiss the frog for him to turn back into the prince, or I guess the king in this case.
It's what? Okay, animalities. What the fuck does? Okay, if they have animalities and Reiko, I want Reiko to get a really lame animal. Reiko turns into a goose and just kind of honks at you and scares you away.
No, because geese can actually fight. No, Reiko turns into a sloth.
No, sloths can fight.
I suppose they can.
Sloths are noted face rapists. Not as bad as koalas, but still, yeah, the sloths don't fuck around.
Hmm.
Reiko turns into a quokka.
I don't even know what that is. So
Quokkas are
sure.
the friendliest animal in the world, famously. They're that
Ah,
animal that there are like pictures of them hanging out with crocodiles and other things because they came up on an island with no predators, so they were never biologically they never adapted for fighting or for being worried or paranoid about things.
ah.
So they are just like perfectly chill with everything. Hmm. Okay, let's see. I mean, like the thing is, animalities were so fucking lame in Mortal Kombat 3 because it was honestly like they just would pick an animal and throw a dart at a board, right?
Yeah.
If they did it legit in 12, it could actually be great because this time they actually give a shit and actually pay attention to character when they make fatalities. So they could just totally like make every animal actually match the character and have the animal act like the character, right? Because it just occurred
Yeah.
to me like Katana's animality should totally be her turning into an elegant swan, but still killing you as an elegant swan, right?
Yeah. Or like oh, what am I thinking of? There's this Chinese bird that I'm thinking of that would fit her style with defense. Crane. There we go. How did I forget about
Well,
cranes?
Lena turns into the same animal, but still got the horrible mouth. Like she turns into a swan with horrible Tarkatan teeth on the bill.
Sure, why not? No, she turns into a swan, but the swan has very well defined
Yeah.
human teeth. It is always smiling.
Hmm. Sub Zero would obviously be a polar bear.
Yeah, I mean that's what he had in 3 as well, I think.
Wasn't there a game where Sub Zero could make a polar bear out of ice as a friendship?
I don't remember,
I want to say it's like
but
either his
maybe.
MK2 or MK3 friendship was that he would make an ice sculpture of a bear. On
I mean,
like Sub Zero, the
yeah,
friendship in 11 though was the best. Sub Zero got the best friendship in 11, wouldn't you say?
I don't remember what it
Ice
was.
cream salesman.
All right,
I don't know. Jax getting on the saxophone was pretty great though. Hmm. See, the question then is also a lot of the animalities have to be stupid, right? Because
yeah,
friendships got in Mortal Kombat 11 as the joke fatality type, and babalities obviously were the same in MK9. MKX was the oddball for not having a joke fatality type. If MK12 has animalities, several of them
the
need to
the
be
joke
explicitly
fatality type,
stupid.
the joke fatality type in MKX was summoning Reiko.
Yeah, yeah. Now I'm having trouble remembering who's actually on the roster in 12. Okay, Kenshi.
Not Kano. I can tell you that.
Kenshi, what animal is blind?
Hmm, snakes. They go blind when they shed their skin.
There is that, though I don't think most people don't know that. Bats, I feel like Kenshi doesn't really fit a bat.
What else is blind? There's probably some fish that we're forgetting
Yeah.
about. And she turns into an anglerfish.
One that it decompresses upon being exposed to the surface, so he just decompresses and turns into the sad fish.
Oh, the
Yeah.
blobfish, yeah. Can she turn into that fish that they're feeding the carrots to? He also
Yeah.
chokes.
Oh boy. Hmm. What the hell animal would Quan Chi turn into?
Mr. Scalpel.
Yeah, Mr. Bones.
Like, well, Quan Chi either turns into Mr. Bones or Quan Chi just turns into Shinnok.
Ah!
That's his animality.
The first he turns into fucking Spinal from KI. Not KI 2013. No, he turns into a sprite of Spinal from KI Gold.
That or he turns into the Revenant with the trumpets. Doom.
Yeah. You get to play him. You actually get to play a song with the buttons like Big Band, and then the opponent just explodes.
Yeah. But yeah, I also thought of the idea, which they obviously won't do. But like, imagine if the animalities just do the fucking bloody roar.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you know, Ed, I feel like Ed, if they had the budget and the time for it, I'm sure Ed would actually be like, hey, what if I use this as an excuse to make a 3D fighter instead?
If Ed had all the money in the world, like Ed is one of those guys. Ed, Harada, a couple other guys, we know if they had all the money in the world, they would just be making everyone else's games.
Yeah. I mean, Harada has been harping on about wanting to make an actually licensed Mugen for the past like 5 years, and he will never make it, and he knows this.
Yeah.
He says it every time.
Yeah, I've noticed also Harada's lately been talking a lot about Payday.
Oh, he always talks about Payday. Payday is his favorite game of all time.
Okay.
Like, whenever, a while ago, I remember, like, years ago, people on Twitter were like, Harada-san, what do you think of people blaming video games for people being violent or whatever? But no, he was complaining about his parents. His parents not understanding video games and being like video games make people violent, and being like, I haven't robbed the bank and I play Payday every day. Harada is also like 50.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely saw the story he told about his daughter goes around at school saying he's a professional bank robber.
Ah.
Okay, but what if Tekken 8 DLC character, it's the Payday crew, and like you can go into the cosmetic customization and switch between the 4 classic Payday members?
Oh, I thought you meant a separate character.
No, that would be a bit much.
Dallas even gets his Echo Fighter, who is just an inverse color scheme version of Dallas, named Salad.
Well, it also runs into the problem of what do they do about the 2 Hoxtons, right?
Yeah.
Because there's the classic Hoxton, yes, but Payday 2 did not launch with classic Hoxton. Am I getting his name right or am I messing up? Hoxton or Huxton?
No, I think you're getting it right. I think it's Hoxton.
Hang on, I'm looking it up.
With 2 O's.
Dallas, Chains, Hoxton, and hang on. I'm Googling it. I'm doing a Google.
But yeah, like even as recently as like 2 days ago or so, people were like, Tekken 8 is my favorite game of the year, or my favorite game of all time, and then Harada just replied, well, oh no, the people posted to Harada like, Tekken 8 is the best game of all time, and Harada replied, best game of blank is very subjective. For me, it's Payday.
Yeah.
Which, like,
I don't blame him. Payday's very fun. We just never stuck with it because, like, we never really had the crew.
yeah.
But also, it kept trying to do Shadow Raid, and Shadow Raid is the most fucking impossible one to do unless you've got, like, mega stealth experts who have the best tools for it, you know?
Yeah, the problem with Payday was that I don't know if Pink enjoyed it. I grinded off screen to have some stuff for it. But you know, like, we would have had to actually like do like a campaign, or you know, do more missions than just the one where you do cook for Santa, because it pays good money.
Yeah, that's one thing with Payday 2 is that the best money making mission is the meth mission. But that one, like, they actually made it so you have to pay attention and have a good meth cook in your team. And everyone else is, like, under permanent fucking siege in horde mode, right? So
Yeah.
you need to dig the fuck in. I do feel like that is a
But
game, though, in a sale I should pick up for my. Does it have crossplay? Okay,
no.
That's a big part of the problem. Then, yeah,
Yeah. If it had crossplay, I would have already suggested that we play it because I enjoyed it a lot when we did
yeah.
play it, but there's no means for us to play it right
You
now.
know what is a big
So,
fucking problem with me for Payday 2? Lack of
yeah.
crossplay, because I actually did put a lot of hours into the PC version, and I hated when we played it on console, and I was stuck with like generic M16, generic suit, and it's like, no, my things.
Yeah.
I was rocking a very heavy armor build with a street sweeper shotgun, and I had to go back to being Payday Man heister. You know?
Yeah. But I mean, Payday is also one of those things where like the PC version is good. The console versions were obviously
Yes,
neglected.
that's another big part of it. Yes.
So like they can't do crossplay because they literally cannot be arsed.
Yeah. They might be able to do it now, but the developer has no money.
Well, they might be able to do it now, but the developer like just wasted all of their money, yes, and all of their goodwill as well.
Oh man. Anyways, yeah, Mortal Kombat 12. There you go.
Yeah. Then Atlas reportedly working on worked rather on a new fighting game.
Yeah, I heard there was
Now
rumblings that there was a P5A for a little bit and they canceled it.
that's the thing, we don't know. The person who posted it, who posted about it, is Japanese, but they posted it in English and went, "Hey, my English sucks." So either they worked on it and then canceled it, or they worked on it and it's unsure, or they worked on it and it's still in progress. We don't know. There was at one point a Persona 5 Arena. We don't know if there still is
If
one.
the leaker is not bullshitting.
Yes, that's also a big if.
Which Atlas is Atlas. Atlas is one of the Atlas. Okay, so it needs to be said. The very worst publishers are Konami just not doing anything with their franchises for a decade, or let's say EA. Here's eight $40 DLCs. But like Atlas is notoriously a publisher that is agonizing to deal with as a fan because they are indecipherable and have a long history of making baffling marketing decisions. The
Yeah,
games are
the only
quality.
thing
The
that makes
games are good. But waiting for any of the games to come out is agony because Atlas doesn't understand marketing, at least in the West.
well, most of the games are good. From what I heard, Soul Hackers wasn't good.
Oh, well, see,
It
yeah,
was.
I don't know. I'm not so knowledgeable on the 8 million subseries that SMT has.
Yeah, Soul Hackers 2 released like a year ago, and it was like a game that came out 10 years ago. Actually, more
That's just
from what I hear.
SMT.
True, but yeah. What was I gonna say? Like the thing with this leak or whatever, just leaks in general with Atlas right now is that the Atlas seems very leaky right now. They the both the both the just the existence of the Persona 3 remake project and the actual trailer for it leaked hours before the actual. Well, no, the first one leaked days before, and then the trailer was a day before the actual proper
Yeah.
announcement.
Yeah, Persona 3 Remake leak was a bad one. That one was like woof. P5A,
Yeah,
if hypothetically P5A were to exist, that would be quite big. It depends on whether or not they would actually be getting Arxis to do it, though. Because if they tried to make a new
yeah.
Persona arena from the ground up, not bringing over the P3 and P4 casts from P4A, that would be majorly disappointing.
Yeah, like a P5A, honestly, like it shouldn't be P5A. It should just be PA.
Persona, yeah, pretty well. Well, then if they did that, then people might ask for the P1 and P2 characters. Which, don't get me wrong, I'd
That's
like to
true.
have the P1 and P2 characters, but Atlas really prefers that Persona 1 and Persona 2 were forgotten.
The Persona 1 and Persona 2 both share one representative. It's Mark dancing crazily.
Yeah, well, that's the issue. Another part of the issue. If we did get Mark, it wouldn't be Mark. It would be, what was his name in Japanese?
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I don't either. Because Persona 1 in the West, the more famous version is easily the goofy translated version where they tried to reskin everybody to be American.
Yeah.
And Persona 2, Persona 2 Part 2 came out like a decade before Part 1 did in the West. Did you
Nice.
know that is like one of the craziest things? Because Persona 2 is clearly split into Innocent Sin and Eternal, what was it? Eternal Punishment. Eternal Punishment got a port to the PS1, PS2, whatever. No, I think PS1 in the late 90s, when it actually released in Japan a few months later. Innocent Sin did
Yeah.
not get released in the West until they made a PSP port in the early 2010s. And even then, it
Nice.
was a port where they covered up a lot of the things that made the original version of Persona 2 Part 1 famous, like the fact that the final boss is explicitly Adolf Hitler and is named Adolf Hitler and looks exactly like Adolf Hitler. And in the American
I as
port,
Mecha
they
Hitler.
put on sunglasses, covered up his uniform, and just called him the Fuhrer. Which is the
Ah.
dumbest censorship I've ever seen, because it's like, what's still clearly Hitler?
Yeah.
Like, no one else people think of as being called the Fuhrer. Anyways, yeah, that's dumb. Atlas is dumb. They don't understand. They don't make good choices, but the original games are still good, so whatever. But like,
Yeah.
if there was okay, let's say hypothetically they don't louse anything up. The game comes out. It's Persona 5 Arena, and it comes with the Persona 5 cast and presumably some members of the P4 and P3 cast. Though the rest would probably be released as DLC later on. One can assume, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's safe to say, like, we'd get you, Narukami. We'd get, probably, I don't know, Akihiko and Mitsuru. But, we'd probably be waiting on DLC for even, like, I don't know, maybe Kanji would probably be DLC, And there would be
Yeah.
the question of, well, would they have to redo the sprites? Because there's like 4 or 5 years between P3 and P4. And then there's like probably a decade or well, no, there's not a decade, but there's a good like 6 or 7 years between P4 and P5. So the Persona 4 cast are all now or are all by the point of P5, all somewhere in probably their mid to late 20s. Well, probably, yeah, mid 20s. And the P3 cast is all in their late 20s, early 30s. And Arxis or Atlas does not want to make a early 30s Yukari or Mitsuru.
Yeah. Dago is just dead.
Well, he has a persona.
That's true.
Personas cause people to have personas are legitimate superpowers, right?
I think
Like,
so.
I forget what, but there was something about personas actually do cause some degree of like, I don't want to say immortality, but something along those lines. They come with a variety of benefits like that.
Ah.
I forget why I remember that though. Why that was the case.
I mean, obviously, in Persona 5 Arena, my main would be Dorkun.
Oh yeah, definitely
Which is
happening. Yeah, they know not to touch him, not only because for story reasons, canon reasons, but also they know not to touch Door. Mr. Door. They know not to touch Mr. Door, because if they do, then people will just ask for Miss Door.
or Mr. Chair.
Well, yes, but anyways.
But yeah, like that, we joke, but I actually did technically main Dorkun in Persona 4 Arena.
No, you didn't.
Lizzie.
Well, yes, the persona is there, but it's not the actual human.
I mean, no, but that's as close as we'll get.
That's a very different playstyle, because Elizabeth's whole thing is that she gets 1,200 persona cards to make up for the fact that her regular human moveset is kind of stinky.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, the original Dorkun himself, is far from a bad fighter.
Yeah.
Which, out of the Persona 5 cast, that's an interesting one. Like, where would they all fit in terms of playstyle? Because the main dude, the main thief,
Joker.
Ren, he's Ren now, right?
Well, Joker.
Joker, sure. Well, that's probably what they would call him. Yes, they would probably just call him Joker. Yeah, Joker. Joker would obviously just be Rushdown Man. He's got a knife. He's fast. Okay, there you go. He's Rushdown Man.
He's got a knife. He's got a gun. Run.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a problem actually. Because the P3 and P4 guys, like P4, Naoto was the only one who had a gun. None of
Yeah.
the P3 guys had guns.
I don't
Like
know. Not real guns. Yeah.
The whole thing of Aigis being able to make a machine gun out of her damn chest was an idea added by Arena.
Yeah.
I want to say in the original P3 that Aegis just straight up runs up and punches people, or she has like a gun, a little sidearm tied to her wrist, and that's it.
Ah.
The whole bullshit of her like making Gatling guns and rocket launchers was added with Arena. Which, let me tell you, was quite the fucking jump.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess Joker would be rushed down. So he'd play like a Seth. I think that was his name from Uni, probably.
Yeah. Ryuji is big, heavy hits, of course.
Yeah. On is Whip. Also, not
On is a Dawson zoner. She's a long-reaching normal zoner.
Yeah.
What was her gun? Didn't she have a Tommy gun?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, there you go. There's her Yoga Fire.
Yoga typewriter.
Yeah. This is the super version.
Yeah.
Yoga Valentine's Day Massacre. Drive-by shooting.
And
what was
then
the name of the dude, the artist dude?
So Yusuke.
Yeah, I've somehow already forgotten that.
Yusuke
is Johnny. Yusuke is Johnny.
Yusuke is either Johnny or Yusuke is I'm forgetting his name, the guy from some show.
Johnny is a classic design archetype for Arxis, and Persona 4 and 3 did not have a Johnny.
Yeah, true.
Who came after Yusuke? Futaba may not be playable.
Futaba would be Net Nevi or whatever.
Because Anne was not playable, or not Anne. Help me here. Popstar chick wants to bang you.
No, I know who you're talking about. I don't remember her name either. I want to call her Chise, but I don't think that's right.
No, Rise. There you go.
Oh, Rise.
Rise wasn't playable in the original version of Persona 4. They made her playable in Arena because, you know, in the Persona 4 itself, she didn't have a persona that could fight.
Yeah.
And Fuka was never made playable, thank God. So who knows whether or not Futaba? I don't know. Futaba, though, the potential of having a fighting game character who is piloting a UFO the whole time is too good.
Futaba's persona just spins pyramids. Okay. Futaba is an Icarus.
Did Futaba not actually get near the end of Persona 5? Doesn't she get the ability to like do some mild attacks to help you?
Yes.
Yeah, they can do. They can work with that.
That's what I'm saying. Like she's an Icarus. She summons coffins to fall on you and shit.
Yeah, she's very indirect. She would be like a weird floaty zoner. Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's see. We have Makoto. Makoto is
Makoto absolutely Rekka Rushdown.
Yeah. I imagine Makoto has a stance where she's just on the bike.
Well, yeah, the bike is a good question. I feel like the bike would have to be the bike is her persona.
Yeah.
I was about to say the bike is just a super. No, all of her persona buttons are on the motorcycle.
Yeah, and if you play Strikers, then Makoto has a stance switch in that where she just turns into riding the bike.
Oh shit! I need to play Strikers at some point.
Strikers is good. It's an alternate story like from Royal. It follows where Vanilla leaves off and introduces new characters. Speaking of which, Wolf would be cool. Wolf is this middle-aged guy that joins the Phantom Thieves in Strikers. He's a cop that just falls into Mentos. And he's just like, okay, cool, I guess Persona. Like he's a detective that they send after the Phantom Thieves, and then he joins them.
what would Haru even play like?
Haru would I mean, I feel like Haru would be committal normals.
Well, with the axe, yes, because I mean, even in the game, her animation is she's just hacking away.
Yeah. Haru's
And like,
super.
they don't
You know
double down
Haru's
on it
super.
in the game itself too hard, but like at a few points they make it clear, like, oh, Haru is actually a raging sadist. She's just really good at covering it up most of the time.
Like you know Haru's super is calling Mona and they're running you over.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah, you're right. Morgana would definitely be playable.
Yeah, Morgana would be that
Annoying.
Koark.
Morgana is the little shitter character that does stuff like fucking Arthur in Marvel vs. Capcom of the running away and throwing projectiles.
Yeah,
Or
that's what
she
I'm
does like
saying.
or like Chucky in Terrordrome where he's doing the fucking Blanca balls everywhere, or fucking Choi Baungi flying everywhere.
Yeah,
Oh god, Chucky in Terrordrome is just Choi Baungi. Which makes sense,
it
but
does. But it is still scary.
oh god. Well, everyone in Terrordrome is scary in both senses of the word. But like, oh man, Terrordrome does. I forget. Does Terrordrome have rollback?
No.
Damn.
I don't think Terrordrome has net play at all.
I believe Terrordrome does have online multiplayer, but it requires like port sourcing,
Ah,
port porting, sending, whatever. You get the idea.
yeah.
I've been feeling like playing Terrordrome lately. Anyways, yeah. Oh god. Well, there's also the question of okay, for Persona 4, we did get playable. We got playable Margaret and we got playable Elizabeth from both P4 and P3. So you know the twins will be playable in P5.
But what will they play as the twins? Will it be a Yang?
Yeah, will you be controlling? Will it be Ice Climbers or will it be when they merge into one girl? Right.
Yeah.
There's also the question of Persona 4 added. Oh, what's his face? Douchebag Cop Man as a playable
Adachi?
character. Would P5 add another playable antagonist?
Of course they would. They're gonna add what's his face? Pancake Boy.
Oh, pancakes. Someone did in fact say pancakes. Yeah, pancake. Well, Pancake Boy's different though because he's a party member.
I guess.
And in Royale, he doesn't even leave the party when he dies.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Persona 5, I guess, everyone. But yeah, in P5R, when he dies, like, I guess you do, like, some little side quest, and as a reward, he comes back into the party as a ghost.
That's funny.
Because there are so many people who are like, well, he actually has really cool moves. Why do I have to get blocked out of him in the last dungeon?
Yeah. Let's see.
Will Persona 5 be the one where they finally make the uncle from Persona 4 and his little daughter playable?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Sojiro or whatever his name is.
No,
Boss.
Sojiro would be awesome. My god.
Yeah. So I would main Sojiro just because he's Sojiro.
Sojiro's persona is just another version of himself, but with a hat.
Yeah.
Like Sojiro's persona is the version of himself that's out on the town picking up ladies.
Yeah.
And he has the same sprite except with a different like hat, and that's it. So when he summons him, you're just seeing two of the same dude.
Yeah.
Sojiro, the
His
cooler Sojiro.
his super thing include making coffee and curry.
Yeah.
Kicking
Saying,
you out of the
hey,
house.
no, his super is him giving you a speech about why you shouldn't cheat on your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh god. Teddy and Morgana meeting. Now that's a nightmare.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Teddy's another one for the joke fighter, by the way.
Yes, definitely.
My god, Teddy versus Faust. Teddy is all over the screen, but Faust doesn't care because he's just random bullshit go. Oh, Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I would also like to see the other characters from the alternate timelines, both Royal and Strikers, because for one, Wolf would be cool, which I'm pretty sure that was his code name. I forget. It was a guy in a trench coat. Like
Royale,
his
I would guarantee the new chick from Royale would be added.
yeah, probably.
Because remember, Persona 4 Arena added Pochi.
All right, yeah.
I can't remember her actual name. In my head, she's just Poochie.
I mean, from what I hear, the new Royale chick is also Pucci, so
Yeah. Yeah, because every time after the game is done, they go back and add the girl that they actually want to be the love interest. To which I still say, fuck you, no, it's still Makoto.
yeah. We all know the real love interest in Persona 5 is Yusuke.
If they weren't cowards.
Yeah. Not Yosuke, not 4, 5.
No, that also works.
It does though.
Like, that one's funny because that's a back down that came so late they actually had Yuri Lowenthal record the lines for it before they backed
Yeah,
down.
Yosuke. I'm talking about Yusuke from 5.
No, I know. I'm aware. I was just keeping on the Yosuke thing.
Yeah. I mean, with Yusuke though, like they also know about that one because in Strikers it's implied. Like
I mean, the entirety of Yusuke's social link in Persona 5 is dripping with it.
yeah. But like I definitely enjoyed in Strikers and in 5 how it's one of those things where like you can play into it. We will never acknowledge it properly, but you can play into it. Yusuke doesn't know what the fuck's going on. It's one sided. It's all you.
Yeah, I don't think Yusuke even like really thinks about that kind of thing. But like
No,
Persona 5,
like Yusuke.
there are
Yeah.
only 2 canon gay romances in Persona, and both of them are for the female MC back in P3.
Of course.
One of them is banging a robot, and the other is banging some kind of interdimensional spirit. So,
Sure.
anyways, yeah. So P5A might not happen. If it does happen, then Atlas might screw it up and hand it to a developer other than Arxis. In which case, P4A and P3A. Well, not there was never a P3A, but the P4 and P3 characters might be gone, which would suck. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, even if they give it to Arxis, like there's a chance that we wouldn't like it, but at least then we would know that it would be an alright game.
Well, I don't think they would turn it into Guilty Gear Strive if that's what you're worried about.
Depends on which team, I guess.
It does, but Daisuke has what he wants from Guilty Gear, but I don't think he necessarily wants that out of other series, right? On top of that, Persona 4 Arena was not Team Red. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't remember who made Persona 4 Arena. Might have been Team Blue.
Like, I want to say that fits into Team Blue's whole fucking bullshit circle over there.
But yeah, like, and either which way, like even if they did go the Strive way, it wouldn't be that much of a leap because Persona Arena was already more simplified because it was a licensed fighter, which makes sense.
A little bit. Anyways, yeah, let's see. What else news is there before inevitably we hit the Street Fighter talks again?
Well, let me check on the other thing, and then probably thanks the recording. Oh yeah, Multiplot Type Lumino is now on PS Plus.
Right. I want to hit the older Multi-Bloods on Fightcade first, though.
Yeah, I have previous Multiplot knowledge, so I was fine with hitting it.
But for me,
Here's
I'm
my
very new to it, so I want to see like the older ones before I hit the current one.
yeah.
And is the little goblin demon, is she not DLC?
No.
Oh,
well,
okay. I thought she was DLC.
Okay, so here's the thing. Yes, so here's what happened. Multiplot had a DLC plan lined up. Multiplot sold too well, and Frenchman went shit, and they released all of the DLC for the first 2 seasons for free. They're
I
just in the base
see.
game
So
now.
basically saying, okay, well, let's fuck it, let's double down and increase sales even more
Yeah.
because
Which I mean,
DLC
that to
pumps up
me,
sales guaranteed.
yeah, like I was about to say, like this to me just sounds like good like money management, because like sure, you're technically losing out on DLC sales. People are gonna be buying the game for more than the DLC would have sold for.
Yeah. Well, because yeah, that's also a good point. People don't think about the purchase. Like, oh shit, free DLC. Yeah, I'll buy, and you like pay more than you would have actually paid for the DLC.
Yeah, like that's one of those things. Like I prefer it this way because it works out for everyone. The corporations get more money, which they need for some reason, and I get free updates because I paid for the product already.
If there's
Like
any
it's
company
not.
that needs as much money as I can get, it's French bread.
Yeah. But like it's one of those things where like I can understand DLC sometimes. Sometimes it's just very blatantly just let's try to milk as much money out of people as we can. But sometimes I can understand DLC. But a lot of times I look at it and I go, okay, well, you released this like I don't know color for like $2. What if instead you just made it free DLC and then people bought the game for those colors or whatever?
Nobody's buying the game for colors.
I know, but I'm just saying an example that fighting games do. I guess for anime games, it would be like announcer packs, which I don't understand, but whatever.
Yeah, that's a bit of an odd one. Dude, you have not seen the quantity of announcer packs for Dota.
Yeah,
And like
I have not.
some of them are just so bizarre. Like, okay, Rick and Morty announcer pack. Sure. Half-Life 1 scientist announcer pack. Really?
I hope that they didn't get the guy to re-record them. It's just sound mixing of the Half-Life 1
I'm
takes.
not for certain. Because on one hand, that would be funny. On the other hand, the Half-Life 1 scientist voice actor still works with Valve and voices several of the Dota 2 heroes. So he is right
Ah,
there. Right?
yeah,
Especially if we can still get him to make a lot of those noises on modern equipment of wah!
yeah.
They're waiting for you, axe in the fountain. Dota will always be. Everyone's got those games that they look at longingly in the distance and go, "It's not possible. It's a forbidden love." But it will be always unrequited. For me, it's Dota. I will always look at Dota longingly in the distance, like I don't have enough time. But
Yeah.
man, it would be cool if I did.
Yeah, I don't know what that game is for me. I'm sure there is some, but I might
Not
I
that
might
like a
I
strategy
might I
game
didn't.
of some kind,
What about a strategy game?
like a strategy game or some other one of those genres that you. Oh fuck! What am I saying? For me, the problem is time. For you, the problem is money. That's the difference.
Yeah, like I can play most any genre. I just learned how to do it.
Yeah.
But like even strategy games, like I don't enjoy 4X games, for example. But like I can wrap my head around them. I can play them somewhat good, especially with 8. But like I'm not really like, man. I wish I could play uh fucking Europa Universalis.
Europa Universalis is grand strategy.
Ah, I was just trying to think of what are games around that genre that I can remember, and aren't like Heart of Iron 4 or some other like game where it's like you're immediately racist.
Hearts of Iron 4 is also grand
Immediately.
strategy.
Ah,
Grand strategy is like Crusader Kings, Europa Universalis, Hearts of Iron, Victoria. 4X stands for explore, expand, exploit, exterminate, or something like that. And what the games that are in the 4X genre are Civ, Gladius, Age of Wonders, Humanity. And then there's
I
RTS,
see.
there's turn-based strategy, there's Total War, which is like like 50% grand strategy, 50% RTS.
Yeah. But yeah, like see with those genres, like I don't like Grand Strategy or 4X. I know how to play RTSs. I played a lot of StarCraft.
Yeah. Though even with RTSs,
But
you get into like the split of like, okay, is it big RTS or is it small and squad based?
yeah,
Because like Dawn of
is
War
it?
alone is one series that went from Dawn of War 1, which is big RTS. You build bases and huge armies and have these massive clusterfuck smackdowns. Dawn of War 2 is squad based. You have one base building that you need to hold. You do not get to build any more. You get to build a maximum of 4 squads. There you go.
Yeah, is it a squad based one or a click per minute one?
Yeah.
But yeah. Then in other news, I guess Claudio Serafino was revealed. He is in fact Claudio Serafino.
Yeah, Tekken 8's cast so far has been all returners, hasn't it?
No
newbies.
So far, yeah. The only technically surprising one was Leroy Jenkins.
That was not a surprise.
But it was a surprise to me because he was such a late DLC character, and I know that he dominated the tournaments and that he had swagger, but like best the release, I'd heard more about Fakumram than him.
Yeah, Fakum Ram. Leroy and Fakum Ram are both menaces in terms of gameplay, but Fakum Ram is also a menace in terms of visuals. Because why is he like this?
He is Sagat. We just reused the Sagat model that we made for Tekken Cross Street Fighter.
Like, Leroy is a
Don't
human
mention
being. It. Fakum Ram is some kind of mutant.
Yeah.
Leroy returning, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Out of the Tekken 7 newcomers, Leroy, I think, was one of the stronger ones. Claudio, also a stronger one. Have there been any other Tekken 7 newcomers to come back for 8 so far?
Not as far as I can tell.
I've also seen they've given Kazuya a new chain that ends in him ground pounding that apparently is mega OP. And like for Tekken to already be a fighting game franchise where every character really only has 5 moves out of a moveset of 100, apparently Kazuya now has a moveset of about 2 moves because apparently that one chain is so fucking good.
Ah.
Like, apparently what I am seeing is that Kazuya right now is a character who just sits and waits for whiff punishes, and he just does that string, and there you go.
I see he probably a low joke, but still, Kazuya is playing on modern controls.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, Tekken 8 will probably come out. It will come out at some point, and I'll be interested in probably picking it up at some point. I will say, my frustrations with Martial Law is one of the characters who perfectly represents one of my big issues with Tekken, which is that the story just goes nowhere for anyone except the Mishimas. But, like, the decision to just straight up have Martial Law's intro quote be him abruptly declaring, "I hate rich people," and I am not joking with that delivery either. He sounds like he's been sentence mixed. He goes, "I hate rich people."
I love that.
It is so fucking jank sounding.
This is just a lead up to the crossover character Parappa.
Like, yeah, he sounds like he's Parappa-ing. Also, I want that Paul Phoenix. I don't know if they've shown Paul Phoenix's intro. If Paul Phoenix's intro is "I hate Republicans," I can't even be mad. I can't even be mad.
Yeah.
Kazuya's intro, "I hate poor people."
No. Kazuya is just, "I hate people."
Yeah, Heihachi's would be, "I hate poor people."
Yeah.
Yoshimitsu's, "I hate mercenaries."
Jason started animation is just, "I hate my dad."
Yeah. We've given up on all subtlety here.
Yeah. And then Hora was just, "I love Jin."
Jones round intro animation, "I hate my baby daddy."
If Kazuya and Jun face off in a match, because he was around sort and like because his intro is just playing I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Dragunov's match intro, he does the fucking sign language for I hate ninjas.
Yeah.
True ogre. I hate people who won't get in my belly.
The Oscar Kazama gets revealed. Her quote is just, "I hate all of you."
Oscar, I hate all. Oscars, I hate Lily. Lily's intro. I hate everyone but Oscar.
Yeah. I've already said Horang's intro is, "I love Jin."
Yeah. At what point do they finally double down and confirm Lily and Oscar as a lesbian couple? When?
I mean, it's one of those things where like I think Harada has like 90% confirmed it at this point on his Twitter.
Like, and it entirely just started as like a fucking joke in Dark Resurrection. That, oh, haha, Oscar's bike ran into Lily's limo. And like a decade later, their entire gimmick is like, oh, weird, kind of abusive lesbian relationship. What?
Yeah, why not?
Also, Sebastian's playable, and he's just as agile as Lily is. What?
Yeah. When is he coming back? Probably Tekken Tag 3, but still, I want him to be canon.
Fuck, we were doing Joke Fighter earlier. We need guys in nice suits fighter. Sebastian.
It's Dudley Sebastian.
Slayer. Who was the werewolf from
King.
Blaze Blue?
Valkenheim.
Valkenheim. From Mortal Kombat, Johnny.
Yeah.
Urian.
Yeah.
Urian gets kicked out when he takes the suit off.
Geese.
Oh god, Geese. Well, we specifically get that one art version where it's Geese and Billy Kane in the suits, and Billy Kane still got the stupid bandana on with the suit.
Yes.
Rugal.
Yes.
Again, once he goes Omega, he gets kicked out for not wearing a suit anymore. Honestly, most of the Tekken cast applies by now. Oh god.
I like to imagine that Yori sneaks in and he just like reverses his name.
Yeah.
Like he puts on a suit and just reverses his name.
Eroy is here in a badly fitting monkey suit.
Yeah.
There, Blanca.
Yes.
You know what? Take the Joke Fighter, put all those characters in suits.
Sure.
Like, Teddy, it doesn't even work. He's just got, like, a suit jacket stapled to his chest.
Yeah. I also like this idea that just any tournament that we can fit him and Iori is there.
Yeah.
Iori in this guy's
category. He just, like, every now and then, he just takes a pratfall just so that he still fits the quota.
Yeah. Iori plays like his newest version, but he also has the trip mechanic from Smash.
Yeah. No, like the idea, like he shows up in every franchise. He's just these asshole who wants in on every tournament. Like he shows up in Mortal Kombat. He's not even from this Earth realm. Like in the prior timeline, the new timeline, Liu Kang looks at him and goes, points at him and goes, "Hey, hey, wait a fucking second." Liu Kang looks at the Goku. He sees Masher.
Yeah, like you know that Iori would have gas fatalities.
Oh god, well, he just do Maiden Match. He just do the version of Maiden Match where he goes Orochi.
Yeah.
It's like the animation is very clear. It's supposed to be like disaboling the opponent, but it's kept, so the match keeps going. All okay. Start animation to all Iori's fatalities would be him going Orochi. Because regular Iori doesn't kill people. Orochi Iori sure does.
Yep. Oh God, you made me imagine what if Mizuchi or Orochi was in Mortal Kombat.
You know, that would be the one character of Chaos Cast they would be really interested in. What do you mean he keeps you at full screen with unblockable projectiles? This is great. Why didn't we think of this?
Edwin is like, I can improve this. He gives Orochi projectiles that don't collide.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh God.
But yeah. But like, it also, imagine they announced like season 2 for Street Fighter 6, and then Yori is on the DLC list.
Yeah. Well, no, that would be awesome because Yori was awesome in SVC in CVS 2.
Yeah, Yori would be awesome in most games.
Like that's the see. The thing is, we joke about like Akuma being DLC for every game, but like Yori would also be great in every game.
Yeah, like Yori and
Yori and Akuma
Red
are the two
Hats.
characters out of their respective casts from their games they came from that would fit into Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I mean, look, Red Hats with an urge to kill, or just, you know, universal, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, but who do they get in return though? You pick one Mortal Kombat character to go in Street Fighter and one Mortal Kombat character to go in KOF.
Do they get to be separate characters or the same one?
They would fit the design principles of their given game, but still be very clearly based off their Mortal Kombat iterations.
Street Fighter put in sub.
Subby, I don't know. I feel like the ice ball doesn't fit Street Fighter's the way Street Fighter's balanced, you know? Like, you remember Injustice 2 sub, how the ice ball didn't work unless you meter burned it, otherwise it was just a regular projectile that didn't freeze you?
No, I didn't have DLC for Injustice 2, so no.
Yeah, in Injustice 2, Sub-Zero's ice ball only freezes on meter burn, so he didn't feel like Sub-Zero.
I mean, the thing though you have to keep in mind is not Urien, Gil in 5.
Yeah, but Gil has to work
They
that
could
ice shit up.
Well, that's true.
Like Sub-Zero, just if ice ball connects, you get a freeze. There you go. Same for Ice Clone. Though with Ice Clone, there's definitely like just a simple fireball for a stun. Street Fighter that doesn't fit Street Fighter's patterns, but there have been other moves that have given stun pretty easily.
Yeah, like every other move, I think it fits for him, because like he could have the trip with the floor eyes. He could have a stun with the air eyes he had in 3. Although I wish to never see that move again, but still, they could do it. The ice clone could give the freeze. Ice ball could just become a normal fireball
I think
to
like,
make up for
if
clone.
they cut down on the vulgarity, then I think Johnny would probably be the best fit out of the Mortal Kombat characters for Street Fighter.
I don't know, Johnny. To me, Johnny's like seeing
Mortal
Johnny.
Kombat character that has a Shoryuken.
I guess, but he still feels like a KOF character more so to me.
A little bit, yeah. The low ball, high ball gimmicks. Like KOF to me, like part of what I associate with KOF is kind of special moves that are a bit unnecessary because they fill the same purpose, right? So I'm thinking of what Mortal Kombat
I guess.
character has had like 2 or 3 special moves that fill the same purpose for no reason.
Oh, Baraka.
Yeah. I feel like there would be a KOF designer that would have a field day with Baraka.
Probably.
Every KOF game has the one character, like KOF mostly will have like a roster of like cool martial artists and punk dudes that throw fireballs and tornadoes, and then there's always one freak, right? There's always, there's Kukri, or there's like who's the freak off of 98? Who's the freak on the 98 roster?
Brian Battler.
Oh, there's got to be a real freak on 98's roster who's like just Choi. Don't know why I didn't think of that. Choi, Kukri, the dude in 2002 whose back is facing the camera. Oh God, Nameless.
Yeah, Nameless.
Nameless and K9.
Who are the same character. Like, no, K49. That's how you're supposed to pronounce his name. I actually had to look this up.
Yeah, I know.
So I will say it every
I'm
time.
Call him K9 anyways. K9 and Nameless aren't exactly the same character though. They have similar gameplay styles, and Nameless was built to be a fill-in. But like, K9 is horrible meat monster, whereas Nameless is just like I don't know. He's got like goo. He's got like fart gas inside him that he lets out sometimes when he takes his pants off.
We all do. We all do that. That's how that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think Sub-Zero would be for me the best fit for from the Mortal Kombat like core cast, because like I could be like that. I could like think of like a jobber
Yeah.
that might have a like fucking okay Street Fighter Cobra. I could go that route, but
Cobra, Cobra is just a Rufus after weight loss.
yeah,
I do not know why,
but
but the image popped
I
up in my head of like I feel like Shang Tsung would actually fit in really well with Street Fighter or KOF.
I don't know. KOF maybe. Street Fighter I don't think so. I feel like he's too like the changing into characters gimmick is too much. If he was just four fireballs, then maybe, but then he just have like a special.
Yeah. Floor fireball, ceiling fireball, straight fireball. Maybe give him soul suck too. There you go.
But see that's still more of a KOF design because
Yeah.
Kokodeska.
Yeah. Him and Gurnitz. Yeah.
But yeah, as for KOF, which Mortal Kombat character would fit best to KOF? Honestly, by either Johnny or Kung Lao.
Oh, Kung Lao would work wonderfully in KOF. Yeah. I can see him in KOF. Yeah.
Like the only problem with Kung Lao would be the teleport.
Who does teleport in KOF? Not many characters.
No, maybe like sometimes they have Ashura Senku, but that's reserved for boss characters. Even then,
Doesn't Athena teleport?
sometimes when she feels particularly evil, yes.
Doesn't Chizuru teleport?
No, she has after images, but that's different.
Oh, Orochi Chris does come pretty close to teleporting.
I think so, yeah.
But Orochi Chris is just a bullshitter in general.
I mean that's just Chris in
Yeah.
general.
I like Chris, but yeah, Chris is one of them bullshitter goblin characters, definitely. There's someone in KOF that has a teleport that we're forgetting right now. Kukri's got teleports, doesn't he?
Oh,
Like,
maybe
doesn't he like have sand teleports?
potentially. I don't remember.
Anyways, oh man, I need to pop up in 15 and start playing it again. But anyways, yeah, that's about the extent of that topic. Now, there's one last news topic. There's an elephant in the room, or rather a sandstorm in the room we haven't hit. Do we want to hit that later on, or we got anything else to hit beforehand, or we want to hit that?
Let's see. I have what do I have? No, that's it. I think.
All right. So, Rashido is coming tomorrow, actually. Actually, this episode's going to release when Rashido does.
Yes,
So we'll be playing him. You
we're gonna
can
be
be
edging
playing
until
him
then.
as you listen to this, but we are not playing him, but we have seen the video footage of him playing. So I actually did not sit down and see the whole Street Fighter actual official Street Fighter breakdown of him because I want to try him out, toy with him when I get my hands on him. But you did, right?
Yes.
So I did see that they figured out a way to give him both of his V skills.
See, I don't know technically I know what his V skills were, but I actually don't because I hate Rashid
So
in 5.
Rashid's V skill 1 was Condor Spire. It was the sideways dive kick from ground to ground, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, he does
and
have
his
that.
V skill 2 was dodge roll and projectile invincible dodge roll, KOF roll.
Yeah. They also have that, but it's off of a move. It's off of a special that you get the dodge roll.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did I not see the Rashid, the old up tornado projectile, the up projectile? He can now cancel that into either of the V skills. So basically, he's now
I
got
don't
K
think
dash
so.
projectile fake out stuff.
I don't think so. You might have seen the stuff with the KOF dodge roll, because the way that dodge roll works now is that he has to send out a small tornado next to his feet to transition into the dodge roll.
Yes.
And it's a stance.
So it's kind of like crazy kicks, where Ken has to do the first kick, and that gives you the warning you're about to see some mix-ups.
Yes.
Yeah. So Rashid puts out the little tornado, and that gives you the warning he's about to either throw a projectile or do the dodge roll.
No, it's if he does that, then he can do the dodge roll, he can do a slide, he can do an overhead. I think.
Oh, it's a fucking mix-up stance?
Yes, it's a
I
mix-up stance.
see, and he's also the man of 1,000 dive kicks, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they've kind of pulled an NRS here. Okay, game start. Okay, zoners are pretty brutal. Hey, guess what? One of the first DLC characters is a character that fucks zoners.
Yeah. And then also, Rashid has a double jump.
I did see that, yes.
And they were like, hey, you can do stuff with this. And the example was like, hey, I'm gonna do a 5-hit combo and then do a double jump and then hit you on the other side of the screen with the dive kick.
Do a combo,
the
then do
counter
a
fire.
fucking side switch cross up Oki.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, he still has the tornado Shoryu, and the light version stays on the ground like Jury's does and just goes forward, correct? Okay, so
Yes.
he has the
Yes,
Jury
correct.
Shoryu. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, hopefully he also has the jury Shoryu hitboxes where you can get hit like from like 50% of the ways.
And correct me if I'm wrong, his level 2 super is his old V trigger, right? Put the big ass tornado on screen. Okay.
Yes.
I did see he can now,
And
after
also,
putting that tornado out, then kick it at you.
I was about to say, yeah, that's the best part. They said that you can use this as a mix-up tool too, because you can KO dodge roll into it to kick it, and then just do the dodge roll.
Well, if you throw it at him, then you do side
Or just-
switches, right?
Yeah.
So Rashid definitely sounds like the smelly mix-up character, smelly rushdown character, which is about what we expected, I think. With that said, I did see the matchup screen. He has a good selection of faces. He's another one, though, where his neutral face is kind of memey on its own, though.
Yeah. See, I saw the matchup screen, but I don't remember any of his faces. I just didn't find them particularly memorable.
One of them is the no bitches
like Honda's
face.
Ah.
I will say, Rashid now has, like, it's funny because, like, it's probably just on the way they've changed his attire and the way he moves, because he moves so distinctively in this game. But, like, it's funny, his Street Fighter V costume, like, hey, he looks like old Rashid from Street Fighter V, yeah. But then, like, the actual, like, Rashid himself in, like, Street Fighter 6, the Street Fighter 6 design Rashid, looks like an entirely different person.
I haven't even seen the Street Fighter 5 outfit.
They've shown it a few times. It popped up at the end of the original trailer after the end bit.
Ah.
And yeah, he looks like Street Fighter 5, so I won't be using it.
I mean, why would you? The new outfit is just it, but better.
The new design is just straight up improvement. Like, I think you and I are both in a similar space where we neither of us were really interested in Rashid in 5, but we're actually both looking at Rashid in 6 and going like, actually, he seems pretty cool in this game.
And I'm gonna check him out. I hated Rashid with a passion in 5 because of his story.
Why? Because he was the new main protagonist?
Yeah, the Street Fighter 5 story was like Planet Sheen.
Oh, Planet Sheen. Yeah, Rashid is a lot like Sheen, actually.
Yeah, and yeah, just like Planet Sheen, I think that story was shit, and I hate Rashid.
I don't know. Well, I appreciate
Like,
that
you know,
Rashid, for
it's
one thing, was like, "Hey, here's this crazy homeless dude talking about how he's the president of the world. I'm gonna give him a bunch of money. Also, my friend got eaten. It sucks."
eh. Like, you know, like any of the story stuff that they did with Rashid, like I didn't really, like, I only heard about the whatchamacallit, like him setting up Q stuff from you, but the actual like story mode story that they had with the base characters stunk
Eh.
very hard.
Yeah, Street Fighter V story just overall wasn't very good, because I think we can all agree that Street Fighter V had the worst example of, we're going to set up all this stuff for all these characters, and then it's going to all turn out to be completely pointless because fuck it, Ryu wins in the end. Charlie Nash is
Yeah.
back. Whatever. Let's just kill him and have Ryu beat Bison again. What? Fuck you. Street Fighter 6 has actually like taken a lot of the characters in interesting directions, which I've been happy with. Though I don't know how Rashid they'll take him in an interesting direction, having him be fucking meme lord on the internet.
Yeah. I just hope that Akuma once he gets at the world tour, I hope that you just speak to him at like a tour
Yeah,
stand. He's working. You need to wait for him to go off the clock before he can train with you.
he's only available at night. You can talk to him during the day. He just won't train you during the day.
Yeah.
You talk to him at night, and he's like, "I've actually been looking for my daughter for a while."
Uh, I don't know what the direction they'll take Akuma in as well, because like there's multiple things, you know, the whole the stuff with him selling fruit and, you know, actually being a person outside of fighting people is an interesting thing that they could do. There was you know, the whole thing recently where he was sculpted as a gay figure, or, you know, LGBT figure at least.
I don't think they'll do anything with that,
And
because that was like that was a very memey hijacking. That was like, Akuma's not a character who's seemingly gay. Let's make him gay as a meme, right?
but that's the thing though. Like, I don't think he was explicitly pushed to be gay. It was just he's uh like he's just vaguely LGBT. He could be anything.
Yeah, I think that the fans
So
abruptly
like,
doing that for no reason as a funny little meme, I don't think that'll have any effect on the story. No.
uh, I don't know, cause they like Street Fighter 6's writing is very memey. So like, you know, it's one of those things where like I can see it not happening because it was a recent development, and it also didn't seem to have a lot of staying power. Although we'll see, I guess, next year. But
I don't know. Like, the only memes I see are like, well, Ken lost his money on NFTs, which is funny as hell, to be fair. But that's just current events. That's not just memes. That's current events. Like, that's beyond the memesters. That is like the old people seeing that on CNN and Fox too, right?
I
But like,
guess,
beyond that, the other meme I can think of is Marisa being like, I'm super bisexual. I'll fuck anything that moves," and Zangief being like, "No, comrade." But I mean,
I mean,
they've
there's
been
also,
implying bits and
yeah.
bits down the years that whatever Geef is interested in, it isn't women.
I mean, there's also the lot of people talking about Blanca's head bite,
Yeah, yeah, that one is definitely memey.
which the,
Yes.
the, the most obvious one is Jury, but it's also like three other people that talk about Blanca's head bite.
Well, Jury in particular is the meme lord of this game.
Yeah, like, I mean, Jury is just the Joker of this game, character wise. We do in fact live in a
Oh god.
society.
Like, to me, the story direction of Akuma seems
Uh,
obvious just from the art they've revealed, because got white hair. He stopped bothering to
yeah,
hold him back. He's going full Shin Akuma, but now the entire Street Fighter 6 cast is now strong enough that they won't get fucking annihilated.
yeah. Do you think they'll let him die?
Akuma?
Considering that's been his arc for the
No.
yeah.
I think they are already regretting
Like
implying
that
that Gen died in 5.
probably. But I'm just asking because his entire arc that we have had set up is Akuma wants to fight Ryu. Akuma wants to die.
Akuma wants to finally find
Like
somebody
that's
that can
that's
beat
it.
him, yes.
But not just beat him. Like the explicitly the stuff in Alpha says that he wants to have a battle to the death. He wants to die, and he said that maybe Bison or Ryu or Gen could best him. Oro was also there canonically, but both of them bitched out. So I don't know.
Like out of those, like Ryu's not going to kill anybody. Oro's not going to kill anybody. Gen absolutely would kill Akuma if Akuma asked. The trouble is Gen had a heart attack before he could do it. Bison would
Yeah.
absolutely kill Akuma if Akuma asked. The trouble is that Bison would fucking cheat, so it wouldn't be a fair fight.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Ryu in Street Fighter 6 would excite Akuma quite a bit because he's Ryu plus Oro. But I don't know. Like, there's possibilities here. I mean, Akuma's never really looked at Dawson, and Dawson they've explicitly stated a few times Dawson's actually one of the strongest characters in Street Fighter. But Akuma's never really looked at him, though probably because Dawson. If there's anyone on the Street Fighter cast that will never kill ever, it's Dawson.
Yeah.
But like, let's see. I mean, honestly, I do think Lily, them bringing up the Lily having the Satsui
That's what we know.
yes.
Hello.
I do not think that was just like a one-off thing. I think there's a distinct chance that Akuma's arcade ending is he finds Lily that way, and like is either like, this could be interesting. I shall keep an eye on her for the future, or maybe Akuma even takes her under his wing, right? Because that is
Yeah.
very much planting the seeds for a hypothetical future where they could bring back T-Hawk and have Lily be the hybrid of T-Hawk and Akuma, which is disgusting.
Yes. Imagine Ashura Senku into command grab.
Grab character with Raging Demon. Fuck you.
Yeah. Oh no, Raging Demon, but it's now a true grab. It's also 1 frame. Or 0 frames, actually, start up.
Oh, fuck.
But yeah, there's a lot of things that they could do with Akuma. Like, every character they release footage of, I'm just like, he's just gonna be very Akuma, isn't he?
I mean, it's gonna be an interesting question because he's got white hair, which implies he's going to get Shin Akuma stuff, right?
Yeah, which implies that he will get fireballs both ways. He will shoot 2 of them at the same time. Whenever he shoots a fireball.
Yeah, that would be the OD. That would be the OD, the double fireball.
I mean, that's always been the EX, the double fireball.
Oh god, the OD is triple fireball. Okay, do you remember his Marvel vs. Capcom Super Hado, where he throws 800 Hados?
Yes.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Still the funniest one I've ever seen is Akuma. You load him up and he just has 12 drive gauges.
I mean, my hope is that Akuma just gets like I was gonna say my hope is that Akuma just gets Roman cancels. Roman cancels are in the game, Addy. You keep forgetting that.
That's just a regular thing now.
Because yeah, like I'm like, okay, Akuma doesn't get Roman cancels. Akuma does get like Guilty Gear style Gatling air combos though.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. In my head, I was imagining him doing the little palm attack he gets out of the demon flip. But like Chun-Li, he alternates between the hands, and you get the stupid Alpha Chun-Li combo where she just stomps you so hard that you fly through the ceiling and wind up rolling back around to the floor.
Oh fuck! They can bring back Kongo Kokudetsu-san. They probably won't, but I hope they do.
What Congo was the ground pound super, right?
Yeah, from Third Strike.
Didn't he have that in 5?
No,
I could swear he had that in 5. That was his regular double Hado super.
no, he had something similar, but it was Buster Wolf.
Hmm.
Like Kongo Kokuretsu-san. Yeah.
See, that was a thought that crossed my mind the other day of, okay, what if Akuma in Street Fighter 6's special thing is he has 6 different super moves?
It would fit. I mean, it has been his gimmick before. Akuma in Alpha legitimately has, I believe, 6 supers. So
Yeah, well, didn't in Street Fighter 3, you would choose one super, but then you get 2 other supers on top of it no matter what super you chose?
yes,
Like, you got to choose one super, but no matter what, you were always going to have Congo and Raging Demon on top of that?
yes,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. And in Alpha, he had Shoryu Reppa, he had Shin Hadoken, he had I believe he had a Super Tatsumaki, he had Raging Demon, and I feel like he had something else.
Did he not have... Oh.
Oh, I think he also had a Super Zanku Hadoken.
Yeah, that I was about to say, I thought he had a Super Air Hadoken in one game. Other than Marvel, again, because Marvel, I
Yeah,
know, is pretty well in its own dimension for the Street Fighter cast.
yeah. I believe that was also Alpha. But yeah, so in Alpha he had 5 supers. You know.
What? What? What if the Akuma special thing is he can choose to spin Super Meter instead on custom combo mode?
Oh no! he just gets Genei-Jin.
Yeah, there you go. Well, no, Ganajin, like, custom combo makes Ganajin look like pussy shit. Do you
That's
remember
true.
how bad custom combo was in Alpha and CVS?
Yes.
Like, especially if you picked a charge character and Guile doesn't even have to think about what his custom combo is. It is just boom, 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 boom. Oh, God. Let's take that idea back. Let's snatch that out of the video and stuff it back in my brain.
You don't want Akuma to just have 4 Akumas beating you up.
Oh, God. Well, the return of the fence painting.
Yeah. I mean, you know that if Yan and Yang come back, or at least if Yan comes back, you know he's gonna have Genei-Jin.
Oh, yeah. It's guaranteed. Like, well, that is the question now, isn't it? The twins. Well, if they do it on the season model, though, I wouldn't be shocked if they do just have both the twins on a single season, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would hope. Okay.
You know that if they did the twins again now, though, they would specifically go out of their way to make sure that they play much more differently than they did in 3 and 4.
Yeah. But okay, listen up.
Like, Yun is probably going to be more or less unchanged. He'll probably pick up a new move or two. Yang will play entirely differently.
I mean, considering that Jamie is a Yang replacement, more or less.
Yeah.
I think that's part of my problem with Jamie is that we say that Jamie is a replacement for the twins, but he doesn't really play like Yon at all, which sucks for me because I like Yon better, and so does Capcom.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the little bit of assurance you get because Capcom's had a displayed history of forgetting that Yang exists. I don't know. Here's Yun.
Yeah. But imagine if
that's how fucking bad it is for Yang. Not only is he in story the inferior twin, but he's also the god's least favorite of the twins.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But yeah, like Yang, if Yang comes back, I don't know. Although I did have this idea of, okay, what if the twins are one character, and then you can switch between which twin you're using with pressing like down 2 kicks, like you could switch stances with Gen.
I have said this 8 million times. It is baffling to me that the V system was put in where you could choose between V skills and V triggers. They did not add the twins and have Yun be one V skill and Yang be the other.
Yeah. But then hear me out. Okay, they add the twins as one character doing the switching like that. Gen is also here. He also works like that. Fuck you.
I was thinking Street Fighter 6 is the perfect time for Gen to come back.
Yeah.
And like
Again,
we all know that heart attack shit is going to turn out to be faked. Or you know what would not surprise me?
he comes back from hell. That's his story. He climbs out of Mackay.
he the start of his arcade mode is him bitch slapping Jeddah.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking the start of his arcade mode is it cuts to like an abandoned Illuminati lab, and it cuts to Gin like being like he's in the fucking tube like Shepard in Mass Effect 2.
Oh
right?
no, Mech again.
Mech again. Oh god. Okay, so they got the Earth powers. Okay, so Urian was fire and ice. No, excuse me. Urian was Earth and lightning. Gale was fire and ice. We know the ice powers were endowed onto Colleen. We know the Earth powers were endowed onto G later Q. But they never showed who the Illuminati also gave fire and lightning to.
It's again.
Seemingly, Urian and Gale both got to hand off both of their powers, or somewhat. What'd you say?
Yeah, again got fire and lightning. He's very, very frightening.
Galileo. I feel like Gen's moveset would work just fine if you also just threw some lightning on it, and there you go.
Yeah.
At least Mantis style would.
Yeah. Alright, give me a sec. I need to let the cat out.
Yeah. There we go. That's how you feel for time. Have me choke to death. Oh boy. I don't even remember what Crane style Gen played like.
Alright, I'm back. Crane Star again also kind of switched between the two twins. One of them had like one version of him had a better Shoryu, and the other one had a more oppressive ground offense, if memory serves.
Yeah. Did he not have dive kicks in Crane style, but not in Mantis?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I need to go back and play more Gen because I liked Gen, but I also hated playing him. So,
though, here's something we need to hit. Rashid is the first character we're seeing out of the DLC, and he's the first character we're seeing return from Street Fighter V out of the Street Fighter V newbies, right?
yeah.
So we can tell how they're translating the Street Fighter V characters, which is to say, they're generally accurate in keeping all their tools from Street Fighter V, but they're getting more, which is probably what we should have predicted, right?
Yeah.
But with Aki and with Ed, we were both kind of asking the question of like, are they going to have to just overhaul everything they do? Because both like is Aki going to be a different character from Fang, or is she going to be the same?
He's gonna be a bird.
Ed still going to keep his weird bullshit? And I feel like Rashid has given us the answer of no, Street Fighter V accuracy is something they shoot for. In which case, what the fuck is Ed going to look like?
Yeah, once again, like Ed, it's not about the tools that Ed will have. The question is, will Ed actually play like a modern control character on both inputs?
Yeah. Like, we can guess he's probably going to keep the punch ball. He's probably going to keep his Shoryu. He might still get dive punch, whatever. But, like, what the hell's he going to look like? And Ed, the thing is, Ed's going to be the one we find out about last, right? Because
We don't know.
Akuma's coming this fall, right?
No, Akuma is coming next year.
Hang on, let me look it up. What was it? Because I want to say Ed's the last character we get out of season 1.
But that's the thing, we don't know because the way that they were that was inconclusive is what people came to, as far as I know, and then it was just like either Ed or Akuma is the last one, basically.
Yeah, I remember the wording being very odd. Hang on, let me see. I'll pull it up on GameSpot, and hopefully GameSpot won't have a ton of ads that fuck up my computer. Okay. So yeah, Rashid. Okay, Aki is fall of this year. Akuma, Ed will be winter of 2024. Akuma will be spring of 2024. But right, yeah, it is worded inconclusively because it could mean Ed is coming January 24, or it could mean December 2024. And there's a long distance between those two dates.
Yeah, and the thing that's even more confusing is that they seem to have put the characters into release order, which would imply that Ed would be before Akuma. But once
So
again,
probably what we're looking at then is Aki is probably October or November. Well, let's probably say October. Ed is probably January or February. Akuma is probably April.
yeah, March if we're
Like
lucky.
if we were to assume, like, let's say a 2 month spacing between, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that is. So we are going to get the answers for Ed relatively soon. Which 6 months does seem like a long time away, but holy shit, does time fly nowadays?
yeah.
Aki, we're gonna get her answers relatively quick, though. God,
I mean, Aki is
I'm
remote.
putting that one off forever.
Aki is rumored to be showed off at Evo. So
Oh, that would make sense. Because Rashid's gonna be out for like a couple of weeks already by the time of Evo, right?
yeah, and Rashid is enabled for Evo memory serves. So
Yes. Yes, I do remember that being a whole thing. And well, more significantly, also is the way that they changed Roman cancels, because that's another big thing before Evo, right?
see that I guess I don't know that didn't bother me about the Roman cancels.
Well, there are a lot of people that are really pissed about it. I'm not really that pissed about it. Like, but it is like a big thing to surprisingly drop a game mechanic change like that, like just a couple weeks before Evo.
Yeah, like I'm still hoping that they will nerf the throw after Evo. We'll see. There's literally there's no discussion to be had there because I'm just hoping that they do, but like we don't actually know what the fuck will
Now
happen.
the question is, what will they do to nerf drive parry on Wake Up to go with it, right?
Yeah, I mean they
But
could. Yeah,
anyways, yeah, that's like, huh. So probably, yeah, Akuma in April, then probably May or June of next year they'll announce season 2. Which June would line up because June was about when they announced season 1, right?
yeah, I think so.
So probably then we would be looking at the first character of season 2 in July next year.
I guess do we
Pray for
wanna?
Dudley.
Yeah.
Pray for Dudley, I said.
Yeah. And obviously, okay, let's make our predictions for season 2. It's gonna be Rugal, Iori, Negan, and Noctis.
And Ingrid.
Yes, Ingrid.
Okay, I had a thought occur to me. Who are the picks that you and I both are like, yeah, gimme? Like, because there are some picks that are very distinctly me. I want Hugo. I don't think you necessarily want Hugo. I don't think
No,
Hugo offends you, but I don't think you want Hugo. Along like similar lines, Yun is a pick that works for you. I don't mind Yun being there. At the same time, I'm never going to be a Yun player, right?
yeah.
But who are some characters like? Because Dudley is a character for both of us. Who are some other Street Fighter characters that would be for both of us? Well, apparently they
Hmm.
don't even need to be Street Fighter characters. Apparently, Final Fight and Rival Schools characters are fine too. So
Lucia.
Lucia, yeah, Lucia. We both like Lucia. Did you like Lucia? She's a sprint stance character.
Lucia is K-Dash.
Didn't Lucia have some sprint? Like I could swear Lucia had something very similar to get to a guy's sprint stance.
I don't know, but I do remember that you could just strictly play her as K-Dash.
Lucia would be cool though, especially because she came so late for Street Fighter Five, and I
I
feel like
mean,
Lucia does kind of fit Street Fighter 6's whole street thing too.
yeah. And I mean, even with like with the sprint stance, like you have to remember, like I don't like Kimberly or Guy that much. I like Maki, and I did like Lucia. So
Yeah.
and like
Well,
Maki has one move, and it's the sprint stance. So
yeah. Who are some sprint stance characters outside of Street Fighter?
hmm,
Oh, El Fuerte is also a sprint stance character. Come to think of it,
Yeah, yes, but I hate him. And so does everyone else in Capcom. Uh, Zeku is a sprint stance
Ramon is like
character.
a reverse sprint stance character, which is part of why I've always found him frustrating to play.
Hmm. I feel like I'm forgetting
TK
someone important.
Combo and KI, kind of.
Yeah, I can see that. Vanessa?
Oh, Vanessa didn't have a stance, did she?
I feel like she did.
No, she didn't. She had the little weaving stance where she'd like bob and weave and yell woohoo. But it wasn't a moving stance. She would just stand there.
I feel like I remember her having a stance where she just like she did like a step, but it's not really a sprint stance, you know?
Oh, I guess she had something similar to that though. So did Dudley, because
Yeah,
Dudley's also got his weave in stance he can do.
yeah,
I mean, it's remarkable how Vanessa and Dudley are such similar characters.
yeah. And
And made
then there's
around the
also
same
Steve
time
Fox.
too, so it doesn't even feel like they are ripped off. It's just that Capcom and SNK both had the same idea.
Yeah. Then there's also Steve Fox who
Oh God, and
did,
Tekken.
did
Well, in Tekken, like half the cast has options out of sprint.
oh yeah, Jin Kazama is definitely a sprint stance character because he has an entire mix up like stance that starts from sprint.
Aren't there some Guilty Gear characters that have? There's a character I'm thinking of in Guilty Gear, but I can't recall who can do a run up and then something.
ABA.
Abba doesn't have a sprint stance.
I feel like she has a lunge
She has a
that's similar.
lunge, I think, but
Who would have
Chip
a
doesn't
sprint
have a
stance?
sprint stance, does he?
No. Unless you wanna count his shadow clone that he can send out, then technically I guess.
Does Answer have a sprint stance? I don't remember Answer's playstyle at all.
I don't think so. And answer was about answer was a set play rushdown character where he could put down these
The
like
frog?
cards and he could no he could put down the cards and then teleport to them. The frog was his dust.
Yeah, yeah. Did Skullgirls have a sprint stance character?
If they did, I don't remember who.
No, I don't remember them having one either. Huh. Maybe Fukuwa, but none of us were playing Fukuwa.
Yeah. Not Melody. Fuck. Blaze Blue definitely has a sprint stance character.
Yeah, definitely. Taukaka?
Maybe.
It seems like the kind of thing Taukaka would have.
Yeah.
Undernight? Was there an Undernight character with a sprint stance?
Maybe
Wasn't
Seth.
Big Gauntlet Girl? Didn't she have a sprint stance?
No, I think Seth might have though.
Set makes sense.
Either Seth or the Spider Boy.
Spider Boy was a trap character.
I know, but some of his movements seem like he had trap placements that also seem like they might have that shit.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, it seems like explicit sprint stances are a Capcom thing.
Yeah, they're actually kind of rare. There was an NRS character who had one. There was a Mortal Kombat character who had one. Fuck, what?
Tremor.
Tremor had everything, yeah. Along similar lines, I'm sure Martian Manhunter had that among his 30 other special moves he got to pick from. Good lord, it's funny every now and then to open up Injustice 1 and go back to Martian Manhunter. And every time it's like, wait, he gets what? Meterless?
Yeah.
Oh god.
If there's an Injustice 3, all I want is Zatanna. I want her back. I miss her.
Zatanna and Martian Manhunter will both be really cool to see back. they can't skip Lex Luthor
Yeah.
on again. Like, I know Ed Boon hates Superman and everything to do with Superman, but they can't skip Lex fucking Luthor 2 games in a row, you know?
Yeah. Pre-order now for DLC character Dark Khan.
Pre-order now for the DLC character Dark Superman. Injustice 3 comes out, it's 30 evil Supermen.
It's all licensed Superman too.
None of them are good Supermen. They're all evil Supermen.
Yes.
And there is no soundtrack. It is just overlaid with either Garth Ennis talking about how superheroes are stupid, or Pat from Super Best Friends talking about how Superman is a stupid character because no one would be that nice if they had those powers. And exposing himself as the real life Lex Luthor. Every other hit, Jeff Bezos' face flashes on screen. Okay,
Jeff
how much
Bezos.
money would you pay for a Jeff Bezos skin for Lex Luthor in Injustice?
I wouldn't pay money for it, but Jeff Bezos could pay me money to use it though.
Who are the other rich assholes in DC? Hang on.
Who's Muskrat?
Elon Musk skin for Black Mask. Black Musk.
Shit.
Oh, who's the weaselest little nerd villain in DC? Maybe Toymaker, but there's got to be someone else who's like
Calendar Man.
Who'd you say?
Calendar Man.
Calendar Man. Okay. Well, no, Calendar Man's Hannibal Lecter. That's not quite. I'm wanting someone pathetic.
I don't know, cause even the most pathetic, like my DC villain is mostly Batman, but like the most pathetic villains that I can think of are still pretty like scary, like Zaz or like Calendar Man. Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter, yeah, Mad Hatter. That's Bill Gates.
Killer Croc is Zuck.
Oh god, yeah. And it's the fucking MMA Zuck, right?
Yeah.
Because like that MMA pic that came out recently where he's super fucking ripped. It's Killer Croc's body wearing MMA gloves and boxer shorts, but his head is Zuck.
Yeah, Killer Zuck.
Oh, Dr. Light Harvey Weinstein.
Yes.
That one's not even funny. That one's just kind of uncomfortably accurate.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh.
Which
Oh,
millionaire is Gorilla Grodd? Who does the most who does the most like brainwashing, I guess?
The most gaslighting. I don't know. Musk has a lot of people gaslit. Donald Trump is Gorilla Grodd.
Yeah.
He even has the posture for it with the inexplicable like back curve, right?
But Grodd's arms are too big.
No, big arms, tiny hands.
Well, still, Grodd's hands are too big.
No. Well, make Grodd have tiny hands, right? Because Black Mask doesn't actually look like Elon Musk. We're filching. We're not filching. God help us, we are not filching. No, we're fixing it a little bit here.
Yeah.
Because none of the connections work as perfectly as Bezos to Luthor, right?
Yeah. No one is actually just a comic book collector. Too inexplicably is also alive.
Yeah. But let's go backwards. Actually, back to the Street Fighter 6 season 2.
Yeah.
Because you threw out those answers, but like, who are we thinking like the realistic answers, right? Because there are some characters that Street Fighter 6 is pointing at the fucking WrestleMania sign for, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
I've said before,
you asked for a.
You want to stay for season 3, but I think now is the time to pull the trigger on Hagar.
Eh, it can be
Okay,
on. Yeah.
Hagar's master spot where you go to learn lessons from him is the Hagar statue, but not at the base of it where you find Carlos Miyamoto and the German
No,
wrestler.
no. You actually fight the statue.
No, you learn lessons from Hagar on top of the statue. That's where he's been for the last couple of years. It's just standing up there making the same pose on top of the head. And on top of the real Hagar is a tiny little Hagar action figure he has put on top of his head making the same pose. Okay, bullshitting out of the way. Who are some of the guys that they pointed the WrestleMania sign for in the story?
Sea Viper, Mika.
Sea Viper gets quite a bit of sign pointing. I feel like we need to pull for Viper just for pink, you know?
Yeah, Mika. El Fuerte. I guess. Does it count if it's always negative?
Yeah, Fuerte's a weird one because like they point at the sign for him, but it's also like they know Fuerte's a goober, you know?
Yeah, like they point at the sign, but also everyone also says if I see that guy, it's on sight.
Yeah, and like them specifically going out of their way to finally make Lily like the real Mexico representation after T-Hawk, after Thawk and El Fuerte were for so long the Mexico representation and they were super lame, you know?
Yeah. And then let's see who else do they point at the sign for. Sodom.
Sodom, yeah, Sodom. It's quite like it raises too many questions that he's gone, he's disappeared, and now Thrasher is in charge, right?
Yeah.
Like them having him disappear implies that like they can use some sort of excuse of like he's gone on a journey of self-discovery, so when he comes back, he's not called Sodom, you know?
Yeah. Like, like we discussed last time, his new name is just gonna be butt sex in Japanese.
Butt sex. No, don't even translate into Japanese. His name is just butt sex. Have his arcade intro be he is wandering with one of the guys from Mad Gear who decided to follow him. And he turns to him and he says, "Finally, I have reached true enlightenment. I know my real name, my true name, the name of my soul." And the little Mad Gear gun is like, "Oh yeah, what is it, boss? What is it?" And Sodom turns to him and says, "Butt sex." And the goon says, "Boss, you sure? I've never been more sure of anything in my life, Timmy."
And then he points his arms upwards and then flies off into the sunset.
Yeah. And that's the round intro. Every time you fight Sodom, is he comes from the sun. But you fight every time you fight butt sex. Excuse me, he comes from the sun.
Yeah.
In like a really bad flying animation where it's like just like it's pretty well they've taken a Photoshop PNG and are sliding it down into the stage.
Oh yeah, like I imagined how he flies up and down for that. Is he just like you know the bodybuilding pose that Hagar is doing as well, I think, where they're like flexing their muscles to the side.
Yeah.
So he does that, but instead of flexing his muscles, he's just pointing the lower arms up towards the sky, and then he has his palms like just opened up completely to fly up.
I am imagining what I'm imagining in my head is Katamari cutscene esque.
Yes, I'm also thinking that like he just his his run start animation is him just coming down from the top of the screen, still in that same pose, looking at the camera, and then he just goes into his idle stance.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, no. Okay, forget all the memes. Forget all the memes. He has a real serious name and a new design. And like everybody else, his outfit number 2 is his classic outfit where he's got the football shoulder pads and the samurai helmet and all that. But if you pay special attention, anytime his back is to the camera, the football jersey on the back says 0 butt sex.
yeah.
No, it's a picture of Iron Sheik and it says "fuck your ass." Yes,
uh,
Sodom is a solid answer. Sodom is one they pointed at the sign, and Sodom's like we've talked before about like Street Fighter now feels like it's in a position where like they don't want a character to really skip more than one game if they can help it. Sodom has skipped like 5 games.
Yeah. Let's see
And we
who
all
else do they
know
point.
why, but now they're in a position to fix it.
Yeah. Let's see who else do they point at the sign with a lot.
Here's one
The
that I've
Capri.
noticed. Did you notice that on the Street Fighter 6 launch roster and after the DLC of Season 1, there will still not be any Street Fighter 3 characters?
Yes.
There is a suspicious lack of Street Fighter 3 in this.
Oh, speaking of which, yeah, there is definitely pointing at the sign for both Matsudas.
Oh god. Well, I mean, Sean, like the question is it supposed to be that Sean's now actually not shit now that he's not being taught by Ken anymore?
Okay, imagine this. Sean went to learn from a new master after Ken got dethroned. He went to learn from a new master. Then
That would be perfect. Like, and have Sean the whole way going like, man, that Ken Masters wasn't shit. It's time for me to learn from a real martial artist. I've heard good things about this Hibiki style.
yeah, the Psycho style.
And like, he's passing Sakura and Blanca going in, and Sakura and Blanca, like, Sakura thinks for a moment about warning him, but Blanca says, no, he'll learn. Whoa, he has to learn his own way. Whoa.
uh, the Capri. Cammy mentions the Capri.
Yeah, DiCaprio is an interesting question. I don't think DiCaprio would come this soon.
Probably not this soon, no. Especially not after how
season 5 pick, really.
Yeah, like the Capri is not coming anytime soon, considering the way that they handled her in 4.
Yes, I mean DiCaprio was so controversial when she was first announced in 4 because everybody was like, "Really, a fucking Cammy swap, really?" And then she actually came out, and everybody was like, "No, wait, she's actually cool."
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I prefer the Capri to Cammy.
Like 6, we gotta keep in mind the audience for 6 is so much bigger than the audience was for 4 or 5. This game sold gangbusters, so it's a whole new generation that would see DiCaprio and go, "What, a fucking swap for Cammy? What the fuck?"
Who did they point at the sign with? Bison, I guess.
Bison, no. Bison maybe
Nightmare.
season 4, season 5 pick as a ghost Bison, but definitely not season
Nightmare
2.
Bison.
Yeah, Nightmare Bison in season 4, season 5, but not a season 2 or 3 pick. So, Seth is a question. Because before Street Fighter 5, I would have said, hell no, Seth, not Seth. But Street Fighter 5, there is a new generation of horny for Seth, which I never thought I was going to say.
That is true, but also Jury. I mean, Jury isn't the most trustworthy person for news about characters, but she's also how we know that Sea Viper still lives, probably. So
Well, we know
yeah.
Sea Viper still lives. Like, Street Fighter characters are not dead. Street Fighter characters are not dead. Look, Gin, Charlie Nash, and Bison are all supposed to be dead right now. We know that won't stick for any of those 3.
Yeah.
Charlie Nash will be back for Street Fighter 7. It is a fucking guarantee.
But yeah, Jury said that that sets they gone off doing their own thing, which I did appreciate how Jury, like Jury being Jury, actually like just went with the gender neutral pronoun.
Yeah. But you know they're not going to take that back. Seth will now forever be male in the alternate costume, female in the main costume.
Yeah.
They are not undoing that. Never. Gil, I guarantee. Gil, there's no fucking way. Gil's not going to be in 6. He was a weird pick in 5 to begin with. He will be skipping out for 7. Unless they want to bring the Illuminati stuff back. But Street Fighter 6, like, Street Fighter 6 spends a lot of time talking about, oh, Shadaloo, hey, they're not entirely gone. Street Fighter 6 never talks about the Illuminati.
Yeah. No, I feel like there's some mentions of the Illuminati, but only in passing.
Well, I think if they're ever going to get around to talking about it, they're waiting until G.
Because like I feel like I remember either Chan or someone else who was in 3 going like, yeah, I fought this group called the Illuminati. It was weird, and then that's kind of where we leave it.
Weren't they the ones that kidnapped? Oh, I've forgotten her name. It's not Li Fang, is it?
I don't remember her name, but they did kidnap her.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So yeah,
there's like a pull here between, okay, there are some characters that we know are going to come back for 6 just because they are mega popular in 5. There are some characters we know are going to come back for 6 just because we haven't seen them in forever, and they're not like on Capcom's shit list. Like Elena's going to be in, Dudley's going to be in because it's been too long. But like
yeah,
Armika was just in the last game, but there's a good chance she's getting into 6 because, well, people quite like
because
her in
horny.
5. And G/Q is
Okay,
in the same territory.
okay, Alec.
Okay, Addy.
Imagine this, Remy.
Oh, who boy. Well,
Remy gets reworked to work more like Ash Crimson, and also his new design is just his shirtless version from 3.
I feel like, yeah, if they just did go with the shirtless version from 3, I don't know. Like Ash is such a different character because like both of them run along the gimmick of guile plus 1 new move, right?
Yeah,
But for Remy, it's a move that is supposed to be like get in there. Admittedly, it's a pretty shit move though. Whereas Ash is just full blown like, okay, this is a set play and zoning move, you know?
yeah.
And I don't think people want a guile that's even zonier.
Oh, but wait, they don't have to go the Ash Crimson way. All right, Remy gets Air Sonic.
That would make sense because he does already have low Sonic.
So he gets normal Sonic, he gets low Sonic, he gets Air Sonic from Gal's V-Trigger.
Yeah, that would all
And
make
then he's
sense.
just,
And to make up for it, Remy does not have nearly the impressive selection of normals that Guile does.
yes. He has the double sweeps from Guile, and he has like the one slap that he had that was good, and those are his best normals.
Yeah, because like Guile has the ability to move around the screen while holding charge. Remy wouldn't have that.
Yeah. Like Remy in this hypothetical, Remy would be the step between DJ and Guile.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, Remy, I think, is in the pool of characters that's like, I see Capcom looking at them going, ew, no smelly. Like Remy, I see being in there in a pool with Mike and Joe, and probably 12, right?
Yeah.
We'll have to see with 12 because they did such a turnaround on Q. There's also the question of like, I'm still thinking, like, I'm kind of wondering, like, is Q only going to be a Street Fighter 3 thing? Like G in Street Fighter 6 will have like burst forth from the robot suit.
Guess we'll have to see. Although like they like pretending that Q and G are not the same character, so
Yeah, I mean they could. To be honest, with how Street Fighter 5 like suddenly at the end ran with G's the real villain here, they could say like, oh, G made a robot copy of himself, but it was imperfect, and that's Q, right?
yeah.
In which case, Street Fighter
And
6, like G could be there, and his arcade mode focuses around him trying to track down Q and fix him, right?
yeah.
Because that would explain why Q always wanders around in Street Fighter 3. He's on the run. He's a Frankenstein monster who's ashamed that G made him imperfect. That could work.
And then since Gil is dead, if memory serves canonically,
What did Alex
then
powerbomb him on his neck and he just died?
and as far as I know, yes. But yeah, like since Gil is not around, they and Yurien is Yurien. They could also do the twist where G is leading the Illuminati now.
That would be fun, especially if G's still insane, right?
Yeah.
So, like, the Illuminati is now just this bullshit, makes no sense organization that isn't even a threat to the world. Like, Colleen is just there, like, well, my boss gave me orders to put up posters about uniting the Earth. I don't know. G is up in space on a space station by himself, still giving speeches.
Yes. He is giving speeches to a camera that's not plugged in.
I'm imagining Sodom at some point. G's introduction to the game is Sodom flies up into space, grabs him, and brings him back down.
Yeah, he does he does his old running power bomb.
G G hasn't even stopped making a speech on the decline to the Earth's atmosphere.
He never stops. He doesn't even sell the power bomb. He keeps talking.
G versus DJ. Match doesn't even happen. G just starts giving a speech and DJ hits the maracas.
Yeah.
Okay, how did we at no point in Street Fighter 5 have Armika versus G and Armika's cutting a promo and G is doing a speech?
We did that.
Did we?
Pink and I did.
Oh,
And
okay,
you
I
were
wasn't
there.
there for it then.
No, you were.
That's weird. I do not remember it at all.
It was around the time that you told Pink about the whatchamacallit, the promo mechanic for Mika.
That does make sense, but I don't remember it.
But yeah, going back because we didn't really talk about those. Like, what would be the picks that that would pop both of us aside from Dudley, I guess,
Yeah.
for season 2.
Oh, let's see. Who would pop both of us? You're not a birdie guy, right?
No,
No, yeah. The one I share birdie with is Soon. Soon's the one I share birdie with. Oh, Cody?
no.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Us. That's a good question. Well, we both popped for 12, but for the wrong reasons. Yeah, you didn't like any of the Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 5 newcomers besides Jury.
I don't even remember who was a newcomer in 4. I liked Zeku. Well, I liked the idea of Zeku, and I liked half of his moveset. I liked Lucia.
Oh, yeah, Lucia. We both popped for Lucia.
Who else was new in 5? Hmm. Technically, I guess I liked Feng, but only because you hated him, so I don't think that counts.
See, you and me have opposites for 5. They announced Fang coming back in the form of Aki. You went, yeah! I went, no! You know, if they announced Abigail, my God. Like, I would be able to hear you going, no! All the way from Hungary. You would be able to hear me going, yeah! All the way from Virginia.
Yeah. I mean, you already have Abigail. He's Luke.
No, I don't. No, I don't. You take that fucking back. Luke is smelly. My God,
They both are.
Abigail had the sandblast.
Oh no. Oh god.
Especially as big as he is, the sandblast would have to shoot out his fucking dick.
The money shot.
Yeah. Like, okay, well, the thing with Abigail is, like, I'd laugh with Abigail for the memes, and I would enjoy playing him because he's disgusting giant mix-up boy. I'd also recognize that Abigail is a character that's not healthy for the game, that will cause no end of bitching and scare the bejesus out of people and make them drop the game. I would happily trade Abigail for the other Andore. I would very happily trade Abigail for Hugo. Yes, fucking please. Which Hugo, you're not a Hugo guy, but everyone knows Hugo improves every game where he can do the rear view.
I'd rather have Hugo in the Navigator, yes.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Something just occurred to me. You know why Hugo had to skip Street Fighter V? They
Why?
couldn't give him T-Rex arms.
Ah, right.
My God, it is so different going from Street Fighter 6 and just playing a little bit of Street Fighter 5, and it's just so stubby.
Yeah. I mean, try going back to Street Fighter 4. I went back to Street Fighter 4 to see what they changed in Jury, and surprisingly, Street Fighter 6 Jury is actually better.
Yeah, she lost her zoning bullshit, but other than that, she did pick up tools.
No, that's the thing. Like Jury didn't used to have her Rekkas. Jury used to have a Tiger Shot.
Yeah. She had low fireball, mid
And
fireball, high fireball.
yeah, and then she also had a Beast Parry,
Oh, I
and
forgot
then her
about
dive kick.
that. Right, where she bends over and does like the come hither motion, right?
Yes.
Eh.
And then she also had a
Cartwheel and dive kick.
Yes, the cartwheel and dive kick. That was it. But cartwheel also only traveled forward.
Right, it wasn't a Shoryu back then.
No, it was just a Hadouken, pretty much. Even though she already had a normal Hadouken, more or less.
Right, her anti-air in those games was supposed to be the up Hadouken.
Yeah.
Was her
Yeah, that was weird.
was her super the feng shui engine?
One of them, yes.
Okay, one of her ultras. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, no. Her super was turning on the feng shui engine and turning it into a Guilty Gear character in that game too. And then then her ultra was the one that she has in Six, the level 3 super.
I know I always demand all the grab characters, and like Hakan is obviously in the space for me where it's like maybe there's hope because he missed out on 5. Maybe there's hope for him in 6. But if we each get one pick of like one character we don't think is getting in, but it's like I'll make this pick to force him in. You know, I would use that pick on Alex.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Alex is getting in. He was in 5. You know, 5 was the most recent game, and he was garbage in 5. People did not like him. But if you had a pick of like, I don't think this character is getting in, but I'm good. I have the ability. I have the power over Takayuki Nakayama to force this character into the game. Who would it be?
Ooh, there's a couple of good picks here. Partially because I don't know if I would rule any of those characters out completely.
Yeah, because I was thinking like, well, you
The
could
first-
try and force Eagle in, but honestly, Eagle's one I would not be surprised to see in the game, and he would be a pick that would pop both of us.
Yeah, I mean, Ken works for Eagle.
Yeah, that's one acknowledgement that he still exists. That's one thing. Yeah. And I mean,
But yeah, like
to
him,
be such a fucking pull that they dig in so hard on in this game, then that means they don't consider Street Fighter 1's roster really dead.
yeah. But yeah, like Eagle could be one of those. Adon, but like Adon, I will. Adon missed 5.
Yeah,
He could be here any moment.
Adon missed 5 and was one of the most iconic characters of 4, at least from the competitive side.
Yeah. I mean, you know that if they reveal Adon, like in the like 20 minutes of time after the trailer releases, there's gonna be a remix of that video with somebody getting fucked playing under it.
Oh God. Well, you know they'd reveal Adon and the whole crowd would just they'd reveal Adon at Evo and the whole crowd would just go Jaguar, Jaguar.
Yeah.
Why does the guy who say
but-
Jaguar when his hair calls to mind a bird of prey and most of his moves are airborne?
Why not? Oh yeah, speaking of actually Adon has a sign pointed.
Yeah, somebody does bring him up.
In World
Who was
Tour.
that?
I don't remember who it
He
is.
fought Adon and Honda says what I just said. Like the dude said Jaguar, but he
Yes.
didn't fight like one.
Yes. So I don't really remember if it's Honda that does it, but someone definitely says that exact thing of like, there's this guy I fought and he just kept yelling Jaguar during the fight, and that's Blanca actually, I think.
Right, Blanca. Yeah,
I don't know if
Blanca's all about the animals in the jungle, and he's like pissed at Adon for that.
Yeah.
He's like, Adon, you fucker, you dishonor the Jaguar.
But yeah, like I could say Adon. Who else could I say? Hmm. Who's a pull for me? That probably isn't gonna happen. Bang. No.
Oh no!
Now there's two of them.
Oh god! Now this is getting out of hand.
Hmm. Gen, I guess. Gen or Yoon.
Ooh, Yun
Like
might be
it,
a solid pick. I'm not. I'm kind of feeling like Gin will be a season 4, season 3 pick. Really,
potentially, yeah.
like season 1, season 2. Those are when they want to get in the characters that are still a bit more noob accessible. But season 3, season 4, that's when they start bringing in the weirder picks, right?
Yeah. And I hope that like the last character of season 2 is Sagat, and his trailer is just playtime is over, and then it's just it's just classic Sagat doing Sagat things.
I thought for a second you were gonna go with the Street Fighter cartoon, and Sagat's got the shotgun.
That too. That's his desperation super. He pulls out the shotgun.
Yeah,
Tiger shotgun.
Tiger or gun.
Yeah.
I was about to say Tiger or homicide, but no, that actually works.
I'm pretty sure he had one of his moves was called that.
He has Tiger genocide.
Ah. He needs to complete the trifecta: tiger homicide, tiger genocide, and tiger suicide.
Tiger suicide, and he just explodes. No, Tiger suicide. It just cuts to. It very suddenly cuts to a very solemn display of Sagat hanging from a ceiling fan. Like it's a jump cut. The music is cut. The opponent is looking at it and going, "Oh God!" Then suddenly, suddenly the announcer goes, "KO."
No. The enemy goes, "Oh God," and the Shao Kahn says, "Harakiri."
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Oh boy.
Like I'm just imagining the sudden cut. They have this cinematic start of it's his level 3 tiger suicide. He starts doing a tiger motion. Jump cut to like a silhouette of Sagat hanging from a tree.
Like I can hear in my head the voice actor, that deep voiced voice actor, going, "Tiger suicide." The alternative is now I'm imagining like something even stupider. He goes for the tiger uppercut, and you know how when Sagat does the tiger uppercut, he then does a backflip for no reason.
He falls on his neck
Yeah,
and
yeah,
dies.
he does the old Sindel Harakiri. He throws in the uppercut motion ahead of time just to remind you that he's Sagat.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And then like instead of the normal like round animation, whenever like Sagat does the tiger suicide, the villain animation for the enemy player is just a close up of Sagat's face as Bray Wyatt's team plays.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Fucking hell. So anyway, yeah.
All right. I believe I'm good to go ahead and wrap things up. The folks want to watch some TV, and you probably need to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So, fighting games were?
Before that, I just want to note
Please
this
hurry.
this thing
I'm
that
about
I
to
that
shit my
I
pants.
yeah. So just going back to the Air Mac redesign, I found this comment that I wanted to take note of someone going. It reminds me of that Rob Liefeld video where Stanley is ragging on him the whole time for going with the most obvious design choices. And yeah.
Fucking bullshit!
Alright, fighting games were